All right, well, good evening, everybody. It is our first of several sessions. This is going to be a continuation type thing with Notary Business 101. This is session one. We're going to lay the foundation with this session for notaries new to the notary business, or maybe this is your first time starting a business. I'm your instructor, I'm Monica, and I have a real estate company and a farm and some other stuff.
Hello, how are you? I get you. I am.
You can mute when you come in, please. Thank you. If you haven't started, I've started several businesses. So that's kind of one of the things that I know how to do. Now, I've also had to, bootstrap it. So what I'm going to be teaching you today is going to be some of the methods that I have used. Now, some of the places that I'll recommend, like GoDaddy or G Suite or whatever, you may not want to use those. That's fine. But for sake of time and what I know works, I'm just going to kind of give you exactly what I did, and you can choose to do it that way or pick another way, however gets you to the end of the goal. That's the main thing. Okay, so let's get started. The professional and SEO friendly business name. Please drop into the chat the name of your business. Everybody drop into the chat the name of your business. And it's all about good constructive criticism in order to do this right. So I may give you some good constructive criticism, and constructive criticism is not mean. It is, as long as it's delivered in a kind way and it's offered a recommendation behind it. All right. Good Life Notary Solutions, JNF Mobile Notary, TaylorMade, like that. Is TaylorMade one word? NDG Notaries, okay. Everyone who has the word notary, and it looks like Lavelle is trying to draw something on the thing. You could, it looks like everyone that has, good job, everybody that has notary. Desria Enterprises, LLC. I'm not sure about that one. Oh, so Joy Signings. Okay, I'm not sure about that one. Let's see here. Inked Notary, love it. You Acknowledge Notary, love it. Good Life Notary, love it. JNF Mobile Notary Solutions, love it. TaylorMade Notary, love it. NDG Notaries, love it. M&S Mobile Notary, love it. Words by Avis Notary and Paralegal Services is too long. SW Notary Services, love it. Lawson Mobile Notary and Loan Signing Agent, too long. Standard Notary Group, love it. 757 Notary Strategists. I don't know how I feel about that one, Aaron. It's like I like it, but the strategist word throws me, so I don't know. Ayala Notary Services. I like it if I could know if I'm pronouncing that name properly or not. Okay, so everyone who has the word notary in your business name, good job. The other guys of you are like me. I did not put the word notary in my name. My company's name is Complete Signings, LLC. So that doesn't tell the layperson what that is. They don't know that has anything to do with notary work. So that was my bad. So now I've got a DUNS number and an EIN and all types of stuff affiliated with Complete Signings, and I'm not getting the benefit of having the word notary in my name. So for those of you that I said, I probably would think about changing, it's because I personally have made that same mistake. So if you're all in already like I am, it's okay. We'll just have to go with the flow and make the best of it. In our branding and in our messaging, we're going to have to make the best of letting people know who we are. Because if you pick a name that has the word notary already in it, you don't have to educate your customer. Now, people like me and the other folks who don't have notary in their name have the extra job of educating our customer as to what it is that we even do when they see our name. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So that's the first thing on your checklist. Professional and SEO friendly. The SEO friendly part is the notary, the word notary being in there. Professional is, just keep it simple. Don't try to make it too long. And if it doesn't come out of your mouth in what's your company's name? If you got to say a whole bunch, that might be a little too much. Okay. So also consider your domain name, because that's the next thing. My preference is GoDaddy. Okay. My preference is GoDaddy. GoDaddy.com is a really easy, user-friendly place to go get and secure your domains. I have dozens and dozens of domains with GoDaddy.com. I'm just going to show you the screen. Show you their site real quick. You guys are probably already familiar with them. And again, as I stated at the beginning of this, you can go do there's a lot of different options when it comes to securing your domain. You do not have to use GoDaddy. I've got all my business stuff with GoDaddy because it's easy, it's quick, and I like it, okay? I don't get an affiliate fee. I don't have an affiliate link or anything like that.
Rings are pretty good last time.
What was that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry?
Hold on.
Hello? Did you have a question? Okay, so GoDaddy is just my go-to domain provider just because they make it easy for me. You just go here and let's just say here, I'm gonna search for one of the names. I'm gonna make sure everybody's on mute. Let's see here. I'm gonna look through the chat. Is everybody, raise your hand please if you have a domain, if you secured your domain already. Raise your hand if you secured your domain. Teresa, okay, good. Truly blessed, okay, good. B, very good. Okay. Not very many hands up. Okay, so this is gonna be important for you all to note. When you go and you're looking for your domain, if you've got that word notary in there, you're already 9 steps ahead of everybody because your domain name, www.whatevernotary.com, hopefully that's available. Oh, well, look, how about that? That word being in your domain is going to help you. So you want to come to GoDaddy or whichever one you want to go to, domain, and secure it for at least a year at a time. You can do it for longer than that, but the minimum number of years or the minimum number of amount of time you're going to be able to secure it is for a year. You go here, you secure it, and it's going to ask you if you want all this other stuff. I don't do all that necessarily right there at the beginning. Usually they'll give you 30 days of a free website to kind of play around with and get familiar with. After that, I typically do the e-commerce plan, which is $20 a month, okay? Which brings us to the next step, which is gonna be let me go back over here to my other screen. And before I go on from business name to domain, let me stop and let me see if anybody has any questions about either of those two things before we go on to the next item. And feel free to ask any question. This is going to be a place where you can feel comfortable asking any absolute question that you have, as long as it's on topic. But I don't want you to feel, hesitant to ask any question that you may have. So feel free to.
Hi, Monica. This is Desiree.
Hey, Desiree.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So I put in the chat, but I'm just going to go ahead and ask. I'm challenged by if I'm trying to use one LLC that I've formed, and I have related services under there. So with the real estate, being a real estate agent or a real estate investor, as well as a notary, that's why I didn't put notary in my business name. So do you have multiple domains for all of your businesses? And do you have multiple LLCs? Because that's been the challenge I've been having about getting my domain and everything set up.
Very, very, very good and valid point, Desiree. To answer your question, yes, I have multiple domains and I have multiple business structures. I have one LLC and 2 sole proprietorships. And when it comes to the notary business and my real estate business, I was intentional about keeping it separate just because of at the beginning, I knew that the Notary Code of Ethics really wasn't going to let me tie in my real estate with it. And I was going to have to keep those hats very separate. So I keep them branded separately for that reason. But as far as I did the same thing like you. I didn't put notary in my business name, and I paid for it because I have to go and add extra words to my header and my footer of my website, just so that when someone searches notary near me on Google, that I come up. Because if it was just complete signings on my website, then the algorithms wouldn't necessarily know that I was a notary. So if we're going to keep our names, and it sounds like you're stuck and I'm stuck, what we have to do to overcome that or compensate for that is to go in and say on our website, notary service. Matter of fact, I'll show you, because GoDaddy actually guided me through that process. And And so for those of you who did not, who did put your notary in your business name, you don't have to worry about that, right? Let me go here and see what it says. I'll just show you how many examples of the word notary that I had to put in the website, on my website rather. So, and the other thing, we have to be, one thing that's very important with any business, reverse engineer, think like your customer. If you still haven't honed in on a business name yet, think like a customer. They are inundated with businesses and companies and emails of people constantly trying to sell them something. How is your name how are they gonna remember your name? How are they gonna, what is it about your name that's gonna make them, it's gonna be simple and easy to understand. It's not gonna be a whole bunch of, you don't wanna convolute your customer's mind upon sight. You don't wanna do that. So that's a very important thing, is whatever we do, from selecting our business's name to setting up our, pricing sheet and website, we're gonna always try to think in terms of customer. Reverse engineer all of your methods towards what does the customer want, and you will 9 times out of 10 be making the right decision. You won't have to really worry about, am I doing the right thing? If you think, okay, well, should I have my price list on my web sheet, on my website, and should I have a handout of my prices? Well, you should stop and say, well, if I was a customer, what would I want? And I would probably want to access that information in both, maybe at the time of assigning and maybe on my website. So because I put that customer's desire first, my solution, my answer as a business owner is, I'm going to put my pricing both on the web, and I'm going to have a pricing card so that those customers who don't have access to the web, just in case, I have something to hand to them. Yes, Desiree.
Okay, so we're in the same state, and in Tennessee, they don't recognize DBA doing business ads, right? When you set up your LLC, they don't recognize the DBA. So how do you get to do the sole proprietorship? Because someone had also put in the chat that you can do you can create a DBA for your notary name for $25 from the Department of the State, but that's in New York. But in Tennessee, we don't have, they don't allow you to do a DBA. So if you have time, or maybe we can talk through how you would do the sole proprietorship for those places that don't allow you to do the DBA.
Well, that's new to me that Tennessee won't allow you to do a DBA, because
They just don't recognize it.
Yeah, I have 2 DBAs. So when you say DBA, that's just another way of saying sole proprietorship. Those are one and those are just basically one and the same. I have a Monica Wilder DBA, People First Realty, and I have a Monica Wilder DBA, Out the Mud Farm. Those are 2 DBAs. They're both registered sole proprietorships. Now, you are correct in that, no, a DBA and an LLC, they're not the same. So I guess it comes back to your I guess how you want to structure everything, because you do have multiple businesses. So you right now have them all under one umbrella, and a lot of us are like that. A lot of us do have several businesses. Right. So now it's going to be important for you to decide, when I begin to brand these businesses, thinking like the customer, is that going to be too complicated for the customer to figure out? It may be easy for me from an accounting point of view to have everything under this one LLC, but if I'm being customer centric, how will I brand this? How will I brand my investments, my notary, and my other things under this to the customer? What is that going to look like? So I would ask myself that, and then if I couldn't come up with a good answer as far as how it would be easy for my customer, then I would consider maybe breaking things out and having that LLC maybe be a parent company, and then having your underling companies underneath that, or either maybe have them out here separate from this altogether. But always think in terms of, well, how am I gonna get my message of what I do to my customer under this brand? And if you're going to keep it that way, and that's absolutely fine, there's nothing wrong with it. Just know that your pieces, your marketing pieces, you're going to have a lot more copy on your website. You're going to have to go the extra step in making sure you communicate what it is that's happening with this LLC to the customer, keeping in mind that the customer is getting hit with a whole bunch of stuff. And you have the opportunity at the beginning of setting this business up to kind of chop it up and make it easy for your customer to understand who you are, when you're doing this thing. So,
Oh, and one last comment, or question. So with your sole proprietorship, do you have different EIN numbers? Because I was trying to keep one EIN number.
okay. So
Yeah.
here's the thing with that. That's another great question. You can only have one EIN per sole proprietorship. So at the present time, I have one EIN for Monica Wilder, DBA, People First Realty. I have an EIN for Complete Signings, LLC, because it's an LLC and it can get an EIN. But for my Monica at Out the Mud Farm, I don't have an EIN or anything for that. The IRS won't let you have more than one EIN for a sole proprietorship.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Great questions, Desiree. Thank you. Lavinia.
Okay, that you pretty much answered the question, because I was wondering with the LLC, do you have you could do with one member, or do you have to do sole proprietor if you have different working with different company? You know.
That's a good question too. You mentioned the one member LLC. Now you guys know I'm not an attorney, so y'all go get the legal advice from an attorney. I'm just telling you from a business owner's perspective what I've done. I have a single member LLC. I'm supposed to have an operating agreement, and I'm supposed to be keeping meetings and minutes. I'm not doing all of that. I need to, right? The LLC I only really got because I needed an EIN and I couldn't get another one under a sole proprietorship. So I have a single member LLC, which I recommend. That's the formation that I recommend for every notary business, single member LLC. Okay. You can do a sole proprietorship, but I recommend a single member LLC just because I don't know, it adds a little bit of professionalism, I believe. You can adequately operate your notary business as a sole proprietorship, folks. So listen to me. You don't go running to get an LLC if that's not in the budget right now. If your budget is limited, and here's another thing. I've always bootstrapped my business, right? I've always had to bootstrap. So you don't have to run after and spend money unnecessarily. You can, what we call lead with revenue. So you can start off as a sole proprietorship, get some general notary work, get some loan signings, do your thing, get everything kind of moving and shaking. You got a business account because you got an EIN for the sole proprietorship. Then later on, you can go set up your LLC. But because especially if you're going to do like what I'm doing, if you're going to go pay the money and get a single member LLC and not operate it accordingly, I take my business card and I'm swiping it like it's my personal card. The reason that's not good is because if someone wants to come in to sue me, then an attorney could look at all this stuff and say, hey, you know what? You're not keeping minutes. You're not separating your business funds from your personal funds. We're going to do what they call pierce your corporate veil, and we can still come and get you because you were just pretending to have an LLC. This isn't a real one because of how you're using it, right? So that's why I say don't go run and do it. My impetus in getting it was because, again, I needed another EIN, so I went ahead and got it. Now, here's the other side to that. People are so worried about litigation and all of these different things, right? If you're not doing anything wrong, 9 times out of 10, you really don't have anything to worry about. 9 times out of 10, right? You want your E&O in place, and you want your bond in place. And you don't want to be doing business haphazardly in ways that those two protectors, if you have them, if your state requires you to have them, even if your state doesn't require you to have them, you should have them if you're a business owner. If you're doing business within the parameters of your notary craft, those two cover you pretty good. You really don't need the extra protection of an LLC. Another reason besides the fact I needed that EIN that I got the LLC was because I was setting up a signing service. So if you're not setting up a signing service and you're not doing all that just yet, don't do it yet, other than if you want to go ahead and you can for that extra professionalism, okay? Lavinia, I don't know if I answered your question. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it's one more.
Okay.
With the so if you started with sole proprietor and later on you want to make it to professional LLC, you could just change it from sole proprietor to LLC.
You would still have. Yes, you can. It's assuming that LLC name is available at your state's business registration page. So you bring up a good point. If you are thinking, okay, well, I will start out as a sole proprietor and then I will change to an LLC, you need to go and make sure with your state's, your Secretary of State, that name is available as an LLC before you start doing that. Or, because what could happen is you could start as an LLC, a sole proprietorship with that one name, and then try to switch it over into an LLC, but somebody already have it in your state with that same name. right? So you definitely want to make sure if you plan on transitioning from sole proprietorship to LLC, that the name at your local state Secretary of State's website is going to be available in that LLC name. That makes sense.
Yeah. Then
All
you
right.
have to change it if it's not in that. You have to change your whole name again.
That is correct. And all that work that you have been doing, branding that sole proprietorship name, might be for nothing, right? So you want to make sure before you go in, and here it is, if you don't plan on doing anything like a signing service, and if you don't plan on doing anything real, complex or whatever with your notary business, and if it's just going to be you and you're not going to be bringing anybody else on for real, or if you did bring someone else on, it's just going to be independent contractor agreements between you and some other entity, then you can stay a sole proprietorship for 20 years. You don't have to get an LLC. You don't ever have to do that. It just does add an extra layer of professionalism. If the whole purpose you want to get one is to protect your assets, not really for the professionalism, but the LLC is just a nice little marketing professional touch. But the real reason you're supposed to want to get an LLC is to protect your assets. But if you get an LLC and you run it sloppily, you're not even going to be doing that. Your corporate veil can get pierced. So don't, get the LLC just simply for the professionalism alone. Get it because you really want to go ahead on and set it up and protect your assets from being da-da-da-da-da. But here's the other thing. You do have the other insurance, the E&O insurance or your bond should be enough to keep you protected as long as you're doing business the right way to begin with.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Monica.
Yes, truly blessed.
Hi, I'm Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
I live in Florida, so the reason why I did, so you're right, that's why I didn't set up the LLC for one. You just want to run it right, like you stated, even admitting why you're doing it. And I knew I just didn't have time for that part, but I wanted to kind of be, professional. So that's why I set up a DBA here in Florida. It was only $30. And that way I got an EIN. I was able to open up a business checking and savings account. And that way, to me, it's a touch of professionalism until and if I want to turn it into a LLC. So I kind of did the economical route of the LLC.
Very smart. And I love that, Michelle, because you got the touch of professionalism, you've got the DBA, you've got the EIN, you've got the business account. That's really all you really need in order to really to set up your professional foundation. You really don't, especially for those of you who are looking at paying $300. Like in my state, it was $300 to do the LLC by myself. If I had gone through like LegalZoom or something, it would have been $700 or $800. So if you're thinking about spending several $100s to go get this LLC, only to run it haphazardly, okay, and be using it personal, and you're not going to really do it right, then you're really just wasting money. Again, my thing is I'm starting a signing service and I needed that other EIN. So I had those other reasons that propelled me to go ahead and get it, but I still need to clean up my operations. I still need to get an operating agreement. I still need to record that operating agreement with the state of Tennessee. I still need to have minutes, which I haven't done. All of these things are very important if you're wanting the true protection of an LLC. So don't spend the money unless you are going to make sure you're doing everything just so. Otherwise, I would follow Michelle's lead and get your DBA and do it that way. All right. Any more questions before we move on to email? All right.
I have one. I have one quick one. I don't know if you know this, but I did get an EIN, but I got it under kind of like an umbrella name because I wasn't sure that I was going to just do notary. And then when I filled out my my W-9, I used that EIN with the name of my notary system. It's not the same name. So I don't know if that's even what I can use or not.
Yeah, you might want to, okay, when you use that EIN, you always want to use whatever name that was originally associated with that. Like when the IRS, the sheet that they email you once you get it assigned, keep the usage consistent. Make sure you use the name with the EIN consistently everywhere. And it sounds like you've got a notary business now that you've used also in conjunction with that EIN, right?
Well, I filled out the W-9 and I gave it to like the, the signing companies, but I haven't had any signings, so I haven't technically used it.
Okay.
So I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, you can only get one EIN unless I change it. So then I guess I'm gonna have to use my social with everything associated with this notary business then.
It sounds like you have two businesses. Do you?
Well, I have like, I registered it under a different name because I wanted to have multiple businesses.
Okay.
And I didn't want to limit myself. So I thought if I do the EIN under this particular name, it's an umbrella name. It's just Wellman Business Ventures. So if I did that, then underneath that I could have the notary, and then underneath the other I could have my copywriting, and then and also another part that's my books and my article writings and things like that. So I wanted to keep those separate, and I thought I'd put them all under that one umbrella, and then eventually LLC all of them, but obviously not right away because it's $300 a year per LLC here in Texas. So
Same here. Okay. So that's a lot. Let's unpack that. Okay. So because a lot of us are in that same situation, and I think what we are doing, and again, this is going to be one of those things. It's an exercise of just remembering when we start planning stuff, put the customer first, right? So the customer is who we want to get to because they're the ones who are going to give us some money. And if we have to, when we're marketing our services to the customer, let's just say, for example, Wellman Business Services. Well, the customer, your notary customer, and what else was it? Copywriting. What was it? What was one of the other things that you were doing?
that's copywriting, or my books.
So let's say your copywriting copywriting client and your notary client are out here, and you're marketing under Wellman Business Services. Well, a practical thing that's going to happen is when you do a signing, and say you have Square or PayPal, it's going to show up on that customer's bank account as Wellman Business Services, right? When you do the copyright client, when they pay you for something, however you pay, it's all going to show up under, because that's what account that you have set up based on the fact that you got the EIN for that business name, right? So that's easy for you, but is it maybe probably hurting your brand a little bit? So to me, it would be better if it were me, if I had separate, even if I had to go ahead and do the ones that were active now in LLCs, just so I could go ahead and get my EINs for each, put my specific businesses in their own accounts. I want my notary customer to get a receipt to have my notary business on their bank. Every opportunity you get to brand your business is one you take, especially when you're a little guy. So that means if the email comes across and says, Wellman Notary Services, you just paid Wellman Notary Services. Now I know exactly as a customer what I did. I don't have to guess and wonder, who is this? And I'm not going to call my bank, and I'm not going to question, like, who is Wellman Business Services? I know it's Wellman Notary Services now. So for that reason alone, when I hear the fact that you've got those businesses, I think it's great that you have the umbrella, but I think you should, with the ones that are making money, with the active businesses, you want to think in terms of what is it going to be? How is it going to look to the customer? Is this going to be too confusing? It's easy for me to put them under this umbrella, but is it going to be too confusing for my customer in the simple thing of a transaction? What are they going to see when they pay me? That's the one example that I like to use, because that's something that's going to happen. And people really do get confused. They'll go back through their bank statements and they'll look and they'll say, well, what is this? I don't remember what this is, because it's not clear. So your name, your business name going on that name matching your business name on your business bank account, culminating in the fact that when you transact business with that customer, that confirms who you did business with. Those are all very valuable, reasons to go ahead and kind of keep things as separate as you can. And then that way you don't have to spend so much time and energy re-educating your customer on what this umbrella company is. Your name, your individual businesses will speak to that on their own. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you can't ever change the name on an EIN, right? You
can. You just have to send it in. I think I've done that, matter of fact. Have I done that? Let me see. I have. Don't hold me to that. You may not be able to change the name. You may have to just get a new one. I think the EIN may be associated with that name. but it's not a challenge to go. It's all about the structure. So focusing on the business that's making the money and going ahead and spending the money at the Secretary of State to get that one as an LLC, if that's what you wanted to do. But if you've got 2 or 3 things going, just picking the one that should be the LLC and getting the other one leaving as a DBA and getting a sole proprietor EIN. If you've got 3 or 4, then somebody's not going to get an EIN unless you spend the money again to get the LLC. But the rule of thumb, folks, is you don't spend money to get an LLC if they ain't making no money.
Yeah.
Don't do
Yeah,
that.
I think the umbrella was a good idea, but it's so vague that it just doesn't apply to any one of those.
Right.
And so I'm kind of that situation where it's either if I can change it, I'll change it. And then I'll just leave it as the notary one. But yeah. Okay. Well, I'll look into it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And especially with us, B, that are getting ready to start doing some really hyper focused marketing to these notary permit runner people, to these attorneys, we want our name to be real clear and concise, and our business, branding to be very clear and concise. So, yeah. All right, Narisa. You're up. Let me look in the chat.
Hi, I'm sorry I couldn't unraise my hand and unmute the microphone. She was asking about the EIN. They won't give you another EIN. I have 2 businesses. So what they suggested with me being a sole proprietorship with both of my businesses is that I some way put both businesses on the EIN name.
So what's the name of, give us examples. So the name of your first business is what?
In God's Loving Image Childcare.
Okay, so it's in childcare. And what's the second business's name?
That's the N. Lawson. What was my name? Lawson. Lawson Mobile Notary and Loan Signing.
Okay. So, and they're saying, and who is they?
The attorney, the tax people who I got the EIN from.
Okay, so they're saying keep it all together as one?
They said and try to incorporate both names on there if I wanted to, but I can't get another EIN for the other business. You can only be associated with one EIN.
Right, exactly. Again, so what our rule of thumb is going to be is all of these people like us setting up businesses and tax people and all these other people, everybody's working off of an efficiency mode, right? Because we want to keep it simple from an accounting point of view. And so the advice that you're going to get from people like that are going to be, from that point of view. Now, let's think about the customer. Okay. When you have that, what name is associated with that EIN? Which one of those?
The original name that was associated with it was the daycare.
Okay. So now when you go to do a will signing for this attorney, and it's $150, $200 signing, and you have your square reader, okay, and the attorney is going to pay upon completion, upon the once you get done signing. So you swipe it, okay, and on their end it comes up so and so and such a daycare. Because why? That EIN is what you used to set up your bank account. And I saw whoever in the chat that asked about bank account. We'll talk about that in a second. So the EIN that the bank got had childcare associated with it or daycare. So now your payment processing to your customer is going to have that show up on their transactions. So do you see how it could be problematic?
So even if I set up a square for the notary business, it would still show up on their statement as the daycare because of the EIN?
If you have that notary, if you're saying that the notary business is under the EIN, meaning that bank account is where also the notary business money is going to.
Right.
If the notary business money is going someplace else, then probably not. But if you've got the EIN, if it's all under that EIN, then that daycare is what's primarily associated with the EIN, and that's what you use to set up your bank account is your EIN. So unless you were using some separate bank account, and how you open up a bank account with the notary business would mean you would have to be a DBA, a sole proprietor, and you would have to get an EIN specifically for that. So you see how you're going to get into needing to separate them anyway, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure it's easy to understand from a customer. We want to be customer centric as much as we can. That's one thing that's going to separate us. When you're a little guy in a big pond, you got to do every little thing you can to separate yourself from the pack. It might seem minuscule, and it might seem like what we're talking about might seem like it's not really. What does it matter what name shows up on the?
Why is it called Black Budget?
On the receipt? Let's see here. Somebody. Okay, there we go. You might think, what does it matter? What shows up? Well, I'm telling you, I've had several square reader situations where I'm selling one thing and the square thing comes up different on their square, and I have people ask me, what is this? Why is it showing up this? You see, so unless you're prepared to be able to make those explanations, and to, if somebody decided that they want to challenge that charge because they don't remember it, if they're going back through their stuff and it's three weeks later and they say, well, what is this? And they don't connect the dots, and they call their bank up and they challenge that charge because they don't recognize the transaction, then now you got to deal with that. So anything you can do to make the customers, make everything as simple as possible for the customer, that would be great. Separate if you can. If it would be my recommendation. Get that notary business a separate EIN from the daycare business. If the daycare business is a DBA, meaning you can't go get another EIN, then that's fine. Just keep your, let's go see to the IRS real quick before I say that. Let me go see if they'll let you, because if you really need, which one is making the money? Who was that? Which one is making the money? That's
the one that makes the most money right now is daycare.
Okay, well, you need to leave the daycare EIN alone. And if you're making money with the daycare, then go ahead and get that into the LLC. Then come over here and get a sole proprietorship EIN for the notary business until the notary business can make some money and go get its own LLC. So if the daycare business is making money, it's nothing to go to the Secretary of State, pay the $300, whatever it is, get it set up as an LLC, operate it like you're supposed to operate it, and then, have the benefits thereof. That frees up now your ability to go get your business, your EIN for your notary business.
That's correct, because you don't want it to appear that money is being commingled between the daycare center and the notary business as well. So you want to keep as much as possible separate.
Right. And you know what? I think a lot of us are trying to make it easy, like our accountants and our tax people are put it all in one thing, and because it makes it easy for them. But what we have to think about is, what is it going to look like from a customer's point of view? And it's okay for you to have 100 LLCs, folks. There is no right. Okay, don't think, oh, I got too many businesses. When people start talking to you like that, or if they start making statements, making it seem like you're doing the most or you're doing too much because you got too many businesses and don't let that set in your head. Know that you can have as many businesses as you need in order to facilitate what you're trying to facilitate. The challenge is you need to recognize when something is not working. Okay? If you've got quote unquote businesses, you need to really sit back and analyze, did it make some money? When is the last time this thing brought money in? Or is this a hobby that I'm spending money on? Right? And that's a decision that you have to learn how to make as a business owner. I've had to do that plenty of times. You have to pivot when you need to pivot, and you can't be afraid of what people may say about you. Oh, she's doing something else now. Yeah, last week or last month she was doing this, or last month she was doing that. You can't make your business decisions based on what people may think. And if you need to have 5 different businesses to facilitate what you have going on, all of your superpowers, then so be it. But before you set up 5 businesses, you need to make sure they have money coming in. Otherwise, you don't need to go through all that. Just wait until you have money coming in, and then you have yourself a quote unquote business. I'm using that term loosely. None of us have businesses. Not me, not you, none of us on this call have businesses. You know why? Because a business is something that does not require our presence in order for money to come in. With everybody on this call, myself included, if we do not show up for the thing, we do not get paid for the thing.
Hello,
okay?
That's right.
Okay. Bill Gates, he doesn't have to show up for the thing. Okay. What happens with him is money comes in regardless of if he shows up or not. That's a business owner. What we're called is self-employed. Okay. We are self-employed individuals. We want to become business owners, but right now what we're doing is we're kind of one step better than not working. Okay. We're one step different from, not better, but we're one step apart from somebody who is W-2. They're employed, but they're working for someone. We're employed, we're just working for ourselves. Patina, go ahead and ask your questions. And then we'll go on to the next thing, which is going to be that business bank account.
Okay.
Monica,
So
this is Sharon. Also, with regard to that receipt, sometimes people are getting reimbursed for your services. And if they go back to their employer or whoever to get reimbursed and there's something else on that receipt other than what they expected, they can't get reimbursed.
Very good point, Sharon. I didn't even think about that. Customer centric, from our name, from our business account name, and how it's going to show up on our customers' transaction, on their bank statements. We have to think down that whole rabbit hole. Patina, go ahead. Thank you, Sharon.
Yep.
I wanted to ask, if you get an LLC, I heard that for your income tax, and when you get the LLC, you'll be paying lower tax on your income tax than with the sole proprietor.
Now that's going to be something that I'm not going to be too well versed in, because I'm not good in taxes and all of that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
the self-employment
Okay.
tax, yeah, the self-employment tax, you're going to pay that no matter what. 15,
Right.
whatever it is percent, right? So I'm not sure exactly how to avoid that. I don't think there's any way you can get around that. So because that's your portion of your Medicare and your Social Security that you would have normally paid, that your employer would have normally withdrawn and held on your behalf. So, but as far as your tax obligation and things like that, the difference between an LLC and a sole proprietorship, I really couldn't speak to it. That would be definitely something that I would want to go and find, a CPA.
Yeah, I did. That's what I was saying, that it did. She said that if you're doing the sole proprietor, your tax rate is higher. And if you get an LLC, the tax rate is going to be cheaper, put you in a lower tax bracket.
Okay.
For you to be able to pay back, you want to pay back as much taxes with an LLC than if you do with a sole proprietor.
I got you. So there's more opportunity to lower your tax obligation with an LLC.
With an LLC.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you for sharing that. All right, anybody else before we go on to business bank accounts? All right, let's go on to business bank accounts.
I'm sorry, one more thing.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that on the IRS website, I put it in the chat. It says that you can change the name possibly if there's no filing of liability, which I don't know exactly what that means, but I think that means that you haven't charged anything against the business. It was never used. You didn't do taxes or anything like that. So it's a possibility.
Matter of fact, I know that you can, because here's why. I decided to, when I was going to open up my brokerage, because I was trying to think, had I ever done that? And I actually have. When I was going to open up my brokerage, I was going to call it Make It Happen Realty. And so I went to the IRS and I asked them to give me an EIN with Make It Happen Realty. They sent me the email with my EIN. Then I just thought about it and I was like, I really don't like that name, and People First Realty was a better fit for me. So I said, IRS, can I change my name to People First Realty? And I remember there was a process that allowed for that to happen, because again, I remember that I was going to start off with one name for the real estate brokerage and ended up changing it. So you can do it. At that time, I hadn't done a thing with Make It Happen Realty. All I had done was selected the name. So to your point, nothing had been associated with that EIN, which probably made that very easy. If you have done something significant with that EIN, registered with Sam's or something like that, maybe it wouldn't be as easy to do that. So so thanks for going to the website and checking that out. Anybody else? Okay, so now that you've selected a proper professional business name that lends towards ease of understanding for who? Your customer, because everything you're going to be doing is going to be focused on how does this look to the customer. You've gotten a domain name with whomever. I choose GoDaddy. So you've done that. The next thing on the list is your business email. I said we're going to do bank statements real quick, and I really should have had it on this list. Bank statements are simple. Once you've obtained your EIN, actually, let me do this in order. I'll do the email first, and then we'll go to IRS, and then we'll talk bank statements. I'm sorry, bank accounts. Business email is important for me to stop on real quick because a lot of you guys have a Gmail, my business name at gmail.com, my business name at yahoo.com. No. If you're going to be a little guy in a big pond, you need to look like you're bigger than what you are. You need to get a name that is representative of your domain. So you need to be orders at completesigningllc.com. You need to be, let me go back and look at some of these names in the chat. You need to be, let me see here. You need to be Dina at swnotaryservices.com. Okay. You need to be Narisa at lawsonmobilenotary.com. It doesn't need to be lawsonmobilenotary at gmail.com. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing Yahoo. We're not doing Gmail. You need to go and secure your email in a domain. Why? Because what's about to happen, all of what we're doing is we're laying a foundation as little fish because we want to go direct. We want to go to title companies. We want to go to attorneys. We want to do wrong. We want to do all of these different things. And we're going to be doing what we call email marketing to these entities. And when you email market, you want every opportunity you can to brand your business. And when you have a so-and-so and such at gmail.com email address, it just shows the reader that you ain't got there yet. You didn't take the time to go get a $12 domain email to bring your branding tight and home, okay? Everything needs to match, especially if you're going to be a little dog, a little fish in a big pond, which we all are. These are tips that I've used successfully to make my business seem bigger than what it really, really is, okay? Yes, it's a free email if you go through Gmail, but as a business owner, everything can't be done just because it's free, okay? Everything is about branding. It all goes into your branding, from your email to the email signature to everything goes, all of that works in together. So take the time. I tend to go to G Suite. I'm going to show you this real quick because this is very important. G Suite is who I utilize to secure my domain. I'm sorry, to secure my email. It's a Gmail account, and I like it because Gmail, for whatever reason, is a great tool when you're building out your Google My Business page, which is something that we're going to talk about tonight. So let's go look at the G Suite real quick. And if you're at your computer, just Google G Suite and you can follow along with me. So you went and you secured your domain name from GoDaddy or whoever else, right? So now you want to secure, you're down on the checklist and it's time for you to secure your professional email. I would recommend going here to G Suite. I'm going to share my screen. And just raise your hand if you have a question that comes up. I Googled G Suite, okay? And let me see here. You can just click on the top one that comes up. Okay, so this is where I go every time I want to secure my emails. I have M. Wilder at peoplefirstrealty.net. I've got Monica at outthemudfarm.com. I've got orders at completesigningllc.com. I've got all emails that are associated with my domain. I don't have any Yahoos, no Gmails, and no AOLs, none of that, okay? You want to clean that up because that's going to enhance your professionalism when you begin to email market to your customers. I mean, to your potential, to your direct business. Even those of you who are working exclusively with signing services, this is important because it gives an air of professionalism, right? You're not just, just the average notary. You take your business to that next level because everything matches. And it may be a very insignificant thing to you on the front end, but I'm telling you, in the grand scheme of things, it actually adds to that professional aura that you want to be putting off. So G Suite, you go here and you just click get started. And it's going to ask, what's your business name? And you're going to say 123 Notary. 123 Notary Service or whatever. And it's going to ask you, how many employees are there? And you're going to say, it's just me. What country are you in? United States. You click next. What's your name? And it's going to ask you to type your name in. It's going to ask you what your current email address is. Let me use mine. Ooh, that's a long email. All right, click next. Oh, it's asking, does your business have a, let me go back. I forgot to see. It's gonna ask, does your business have a domain? Now, you've already secured your domain. So when you say, when it asks you this, you're supposed to click yes. If you want to get your domain through them, fine. You can click no, I need one. Please give me one. I just don't like all my eggs in one basket. I like my domains over at GoDaddy, and I like my email over at G Suite. GoDaddy offers me email all the time, but I don't want my email over at GoDaddy. I don't want everything at GoDaddy. I like GoDaddy for what it does, my domains and my websites. I like G Suite for my email. I keep them all separate like that. That's just how I do it. You can do it however you want to do it. So if you don't have a domain, you would say, no, I need one, and you'll let Google give you a domain. But I always say, yes, I have one I can use. So I click there. That's when you would type www.123notaryservice.com if that's the one that you secured. And of course, it's going to give me an error because it's going to check. See, this domain hasn't been purchased yet. So what it did just then was to check whether or not that domain was really mine. So make sure you have your domain set up before you actually come to G Suite. But one of the beautiful things about G Suite, and I'll show you here, is this little beautiful thing over here, this little square, those little 9 dots. I can come over here and create forms and presentations and all types of things with G Suite. It's basically Microsoft Office in Google form. That's all it is. For all of you that are used to the Office suite of products, your Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and all of that, this is what G Suite does. And it gives you a little bit of flexibility when it comes to creating forms and incorporating those forms in your marketing. So I highly recommend the use of G Suite for those of you who are planning on building a business that is going to require you to, capture information, and you don't want to break the bank by, paying for all these other software services like your Constant Contacts and your event, your Survey Monkey and all of those different things. Those cost money every month. When you have G Suite, you can accomplish those same goals with the use of the forms. So we'll talk about that when we get to marketing. But right now, tonight, what we're doing is we're just laying the groundwork for setting up your business. So any questions about G Suite before we move on?
Yes, this is Violet. Can you hear me?
Yes, Violet, go ahead.
Hello, how are you this evening?
Good, thank you.
All right, I have a question for you. You was just talking about the email. If I don't have a domain, will I not be able to set up that email until I get a domain?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Step one is to get the domain. And then once you get the domain, then hop over to G Suite and secure your professional email.
Okay, so I'll check out GoDaddy and get that.
Very
Everyone's been giving me good information regarding GoDaddy. So I need to do that first, then come back to G Suite and create an email, correct?
That's correct. Very good.
All righty. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Any more questions before we move on to bank statements and EIN?
Hi, this is Aaliyah. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how to raise my hand in this on Zoom. So
okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just jumped in. Just a very quick question. When creating our the email, you said to use our name. Are we using our full name, or is it just the first name or just the last name? What should that look like?
That's very good. Very good question. Depends on how you want to do it. Like with me, I didn't use my name at all. I said orders at, and with title companies, that's typically what a title company is going to do, right? And so a notary business is kind of one of those ancillary kind of services to a title company. So since most title companies have an orders at .com, I just did that same thing. So you can choose to do that, and you have an orders at whatever.com, and let that be your notary email, or you can do first initial last name at yourbusinessname.com and let that be your email. Just keep in mind of where you want your business to go. So for me, I was always thinking in terms of futuristic signing service. How do I want this to look? So once I got my direct business, I wanted them to send all orders, all of requests to that one email. I didn't necessarily want it always to be Monica that they sent it to. So I'm thinking in terms of hopefully having a real business where it's operating without me, and that orders at completesigningllc.com does the trick for me. So that way it doesn't necessarily associate itself with me. Because remember, my ultimate goal is to get out of that role of a self-employed individual and into that role of a business owner. So every decision I make, from my email, my name, and all of these things are being done very intentionally with that goal in mind. When you set your name up, your email up to be with just your name, you're going to be building a business around, guess who? Just you. So keep that in mind when you craft your email.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Linda.
Hi, everybody. I have a question. So my business name is LDE, as those are my initials, Inc. Notary Services. So you're saying the domain will be, would it be the whole thing, LDE Inc. Notary Services?
That's correct.
Would that be my whole domain?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You would
And
go.
then I'm sorry.
And you would probably get that domain, right? Because not too many people would probably have that. So
Okay.
yeah, your name, LDE Inc. Notary Services, would be the entire domain. And then once you got to your email, it would be whatever at LDE Inc. NotaryServices.com. Now, let's stop. Talk that through. Say that a couple of times. If you're marketing for direct business, are you going to have a difficult time rattling that off to the office manager when she's got 2 minutes to take down your information, right? Or to a customer who may need to send you something real quick? Is that going to be something you can easily, you just want to make sure, customer focused, that how you set your name up, it's a smooth, easy, breezy type of cover girl situation, okay? When it comes to, you just don't want it to be too much. And yours,
Right.
Yours isn't too much, but when you say it, it sounds like a lot. LD,
Well, if I do LDE Inc., maybe without the notary services.
Yes. But
Yeah.
then if you leave up the notary services, then you're missing the opportunity to have that. So I don't know. You can still work well with the LDE Inc. Notary services. It's just going to be at the front of that email. You want to make it short. You don't
Make
want,
it short. Okay.
you would want L Edwards at LDE Inc. Notary Services. You
Okay.
would want orders at LDE Inc. Notary Services. You wanted to very
short.
Yeah.
Okay. All right then. Thank you.
You're welcome. Great question. Anyone else? All right, let's move on. We got a lot to cover. So we've now discussed the domain, we've discussed the professional email, and we've discussed the business bank account for all intents and purposes. Now it's time to go on to let me get back on track. Okay, I lost myself. Let me get back over here. I believe we've done G Suite for the email, and let me just open it up again. There we go. All right, we've done email, irs.gov. Now, let's go to the IRS's website and just tick around a little bit, because most of you guys have already gone there before for one reason or another. So I'm not going to sit here and educate you on the IRS's website. We are all notaries public. We can all read and follow instructions. But I want you guys to know where to go in order to be able to obtain your EIN in case you're on the call and you have never done that before. So I'm just going to assume that at least one person hasn't, so that we can definitely make sure you at least know what you should be looking for. Okay, so here we are at irs.gov, and anytime you're going to a government website, it's going to have that .gov at the end. You want to make sure it does. Otherwise, you're not going to be in the right place. Now that I'm here, I'm just going to go to the search bar and I'm going to put EIN and hit search. Employer ID numbers. So I'm just going to click on this publication here, or this link, and it gets me to the page that has all things EIN, right? Do you need an EIN? Well, let's see. Do you have employees? No. Do you operate your business as a corporation or partnership? No. Do you file any of these tax returns? Employment, excise, alcohol, tobacco, or firearms? No. Do you withhold taxes or on income other than wages? Da 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 da. Do you have a KEO plan? No. Are you involved with any of the types? So it gives you this line of questions to determine whether or not you even need an EIN. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like, fortunately, it looks like we don't really need one according to the IRS. Where it comes into play is when you try to open up a business bank account, okay? You can't open up a business bank account without either an EIN, or really, I don't even think they let you open a business account with just your social. I believe you have to have at most banks an EIN. So while the IRS has got this little questionnaire and it says, hey, let's check this out, do you really need one? You might have all of these you might say no to all of these, but when you're going to the bank to open up that bank account, they're going to need that EIN. So keep that in mind when you come here and you start reading over these questions. And let me see here. daily limitation of an employer identification number effective May 2012 to ensure fair and equitable treatment of all taxpayers. The IRS will limit employer identification number issuance to one responsible party per day. Okay, this limitation is applicable to all requests. Okay, so that's gonna just be, that doesn't really mess with us at all. You shouldn't be requesting more than one EIN a day anyway, you know, so that shouldn't apply to you. But here's where you come to get that started. Does anybody have any questions? You can do it online, you can do it by fax or by mail, do it online. It's the fastest and easiest way, okay? You are the responsible party, and they're just reminding you again that you're limited to getting one of these a day per responsible person, per responsible party. Read, follow instructions, okay? It's not gonna be, I don't think it takes very long at all, but you'll get this little prompt, click on begin application, and here it'll tell you, let me make it a little bigger so we can see it. Well, I don't think I'm making it big. There we go. What type of legal structure are you? Again, it depends on what we talked about before as far as what you decided. Are you a sole proprietorship? Are you a partnership, corporation, LLC? Okay, estate, trust, whatever. Here's your options. You would click here if you haven't gotten your LLC yet, okay? And you would hit continue. And a sole proprietor includes individuals who are in business for themselves, is a business that only one owner and it is not incorporated or registered with the state as an LLC. A sole proprietor can be a self-employed individual or an independent contractor. Sole proprietors report all business income and expenses on their tax returns on a Schedule C, E, or F. A sole proprietor may or may not have employees. So they're just kind of giving you a definition of what they say a sole proprietor is. So if that's you, you click here and you hit continue. To confirm, please confirm your selection. Confirm your selection of sole proprietor as the type of structure. It's again reminding you what it is. A business owned by one individual. It can be a self-employed individual or a 1099 contractor. All business income is going to be reported on your tax return, and you may have employees or you may not. Here's the important note. A sole proprietor may have only one EIN regardless of the number of businesses you own or operate. If you already have an EIN, you must use that number for all of your sole proprietor businesses. The IRS doesn't care about customer centricness. The IRS doesn't care what shows up on the customer's transaction statement. The IRS does not care about that. The IRS is telling us that we're going to give you one EIN for everything that you got going on, okay? How you work it out is how you work it out. But you're still the business owner, and you still have to figure that thing out. So if you know you have all these businesses going on and you want no issues on the back end when it comes to your customers, you want to go ahead and say, okay, great. The IRS is only going to give me one EIN per sole prop, fine. I'll have an EIN for a sole prop here, but I'm going to go over here and create my single member LLC because I definitely want an EIN for a separate EIN for this business, because I don't want my customers, when I'm out doing signings or doing transactions or invoicing or whatever, I don't want the record to look different than what that business is. I want my notary stuff to say notary, and I want everything else to stay separate. Let's see here. Tanya, you have a question?
Monica, is it okay
Yeah,
if I go ahead and ask a question here? I don't know why I'm getting such feedback. Okay, so if you're doing a sole proprietor, you have to only have one EIN.
That is correct. The IRS will not give you more than one for a sole proprietor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Linda has her hand out.
Okay, so a few years ago, I set up a business. Nothing came out of it. I set the business name. I got an EIN, and I didn't do anything with it. So it just like vanished into air. Okay. But I got an EIN for this. I don't know if it's the same number. Do you think it's the same number when I create it? I don't.
It is. It's going to be still on the IRS's books as whatever that same number was. And then so what you would do is you would want to go here, and after I get done here, we'll look and see, how do you change your name? how do you change your business name under that EIN? And there is a process for that, because I do remember doing that. And B had asked about that, and I didn't realize it, but you can get your name changed on your EIN for your sole prop. It's just, we'll Google on the irs.gov site to see if we can find out that process.
Okay, so but like for instance, I'm not no longer using that other business. Because the way I could delete that business off of that number, or get that number off that business, or how does that work?
Yes, when you put your new name on there, that's the only way that I know of. I don't think they'll
Okay.
ever delete that number. I think that number is your number.
Okay, but I just want to delete the company. That's basically I want to do the business name, the old business name, I should say.
So
Okay.
since you didn't really do anything with the company really isn't, it doesn't, the only place the company sounds like it does exist is with that EIN. So when you put that, when you request a new name be associated with that EIN, then you are in effect killing that other company.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Okay. All right then, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm just trying to be clear. So you can use an existing EIN.
Yes.
But give it a new name.
Yes, but you have to go through the IRS to make that happen. You can't just change it on your own.
Okay.
Good questions, you guys. Anybody else? All right. So let's pretend like I'm going through this process. I'm a sole proprietorship. I'm getting my EIN. I come here and I hit continue, and it's asking, why is a sole proprietor requesting an EIN? Bam, banking purposes. I'm just needing this so that I can open up a business bank account, because like I tell you, they won't open you a bank account if you don't have an EIN. So then you hear and you click continue, and it's going to ask you more questions about yourself, your social. I'm going to stop here because I'm not going to be able to make it through this thing. But as you can see here, you're just going to follow through step 2, step 3, step 4. And at the end, if you provided an email, at the end, you will get your EIN via email fairly quickly and have your EIN letter. And that letter you can take to the bank and open up your business bank account. Okay. Now, when you go open up your business bank account, you want to open up a business bank account with someone who has probably some presences somewhere. You don't want to have, thinking futuristically, I didn't want to have a bank account that, didn't have the functions to be able to do any payees. And, I really wanted a bank that was at least regional. I didn't want a small community bank for my business account. So you want to think about the services that the bank offers. If you're going to need wires, or if you feel like you may have payment processing needs in the future, you want to make sure you choose that bank that matches up with the needs that you feel like your business will be needing in the future. Does that make sense? That's it on business bank account. It's simple. Just put some money in it. Most of them are going to require $100, $50. I don't even think $100. It just depends. You just depend. If you start with the bank that you're at, that's probably a good idea, except for if that is a very small bank. If you're dealing with a a credit union for your personal account, I would probably venture out to a more regional outfit for my banking or my business stuff. I don't want to be at a credit union necessarily on my business account. No, nothing bad against credit unions, but I want to be at a regional bank. I don't know where this business is going to go. Yes, you can change accounts later, but why do that? Go ahead and get with, and you don't have to go with a Chase or a Bank of America or a big brand like that, but you don't necessarily want to go with ABC Credit Union that's only in your city, right? You want to be able to have a business bank account that has a broader business function reach. You want to be able to, like I say, with payment processing if you need it, or setting up payees. Like today, I started paying instructors and I was easily able to go into my business account, set everybody up as a payee, boom, 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 bop. Okay. It gave me that functionality. Why? Because my bank has a business online situation. So you just want to make sure that your bank, whichever one you choose, has that functionality, because you don't want to keep thinking in terms of just you being the only person. Okay, you're going to grow. So think in terms of that when you choose your bank. All right, let's get back on to the checklist, because we got some big stuff at the end. All of these things are little foundational things. Administrative stuff is all we're talking. We haven't gotten to the meat yet, because you don't want to start marketing until you know your target audience. And you don't even want to start discussing who your target audience is until you know your business name and got your domain and your email and your bank. See what I'm saying? So there's a method. There's a method to this. So tonight's call is about laying that first foundation. You don't want to move on to anything else until you've got these things on this checklist done. So let's go back over to the checklist. Okay, so we've got the EIN. So now let's talk about business address, okay? Business address, if you plan on going after government contracts, right? DUNS is not on this list. I specifically left getting your DUNS number off because you don't need a DUNS number or going and apply for a DUNS number yet until you've got this business address situation figured out, okay? Your DUNS number is gonna be associated with that business address. And until you have your business address selected, you're not gonna wanna go apply for your DUNS number. Now, DUNS doesn't want you to have a PO box, okay? You don't want a PO box for a business address. If your home is your business address, that is where your home, it is what it is, okay? The idea is if you could have an address that is a for real street address, that is not your home address, that is the absolute best option. What does that look like? That looks like you renting a space or you leasing an address. So in other words, maybe you have a service or a UPS store, I don't know if they do this still or not, that actually provide you with a real street address in exchange for you paying monthly or whatever to be able to utilize it. Now, I've heard a couple of different schools of thought when it comes to your Dun & Bradstreet and how that affects it. And the one school of thought is that, yeah, Dun & Bradstreet is hip to that. They know that it's really a PO box, so it comes up to them as a PO box. So you're really hurting yourself if you go get a UPS address and think you're gonna fool Dun & Bradstreet. Dun & Bradstreet is important because that number is gonna be used when you go after government contracts. And they authenticate businesses by checking them out. And a lot of times if you go get your DUNS number and you've used your home address, it doesn't speak to your being a real business. So you're gonna always run into a problem when you're using your home address as your business address when you get to the DUNS part of the business building. If that's all you can do, then that's all you can do. It's just gonna do what it's gonna do. It's gonna ding you, oh well, but that's all you have to work with, that's okay. If you have the ability to find a service that provides you with a real street address, like a registered agent type service, then look into incorporating that service as an expense for your business. So these are things that we have to as business owners, if it's $20 a month and that's $240 for the year, in order for me to maintain a business address, then you might need to make that investment. Why? Because again, it's gonna lend to your overall credibility when you go over and start to register at DUNS and you go to, set up yourself as a potential government contractor, which is what all of us should be thinking of in terms of our notary business, if we're trying to grow it. There's government contracts available for notaries, and a lot of times we don't even know about them because we don't even get a DUNS number. We don't get a DUNS number, and then furthermore, we don't go get certified. So those are the things that you have to do in order to access those contracts, but it starts with all of this. But again, you see DUNS is not on this list because you don't need to do it yet. So just hold tight on that. Business address. If it is your home address, there's nothing you can do about it. After you've searched to find whether there's another service that can help you with a real street address, not a PO box, a real street address that won't red flag Dun & Bradstreet, then great. Otherwise, you're just gonna have to use your home address. There's nothing you're gonna be able to do about it, okay? Google My Business. If you do use your home address, don't put it on Google My Business. That's the next thing. All notaries need a Google My Business page. Google has made it where you will go to your Google My Business and set it up, and they'll send you a verification code. That verification code comes in a couple of weeks, sometimes 10 days. Well, that verification code, once you've entered it into the system, will verify your Google My Business page. The Google My Business page is fairly easy. We're not going to spend too much time on it, but I'm just going to show you really quick for those of you who may be new to Google My Business, just how to quickly go to it and navigate it and set it up. Not a whole lot of, you don't want to go, spend 2 hours on this, okay? Again, when you're a little fish in a big pond, you don't spend time on the whole bunch of time on the little stuff. Just get it done. Just boop, 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 okay? Google My Business page is one of those things. So you've got the domain, email, EIN, Hop over to Google My Business. Like I said, 10 minutes, you guys. Some of this stuff is taking too long. You want to get all this stuff done administratively in a day or so, okay? So you got your Google My Business page. You go here, you click Manage Now. This is if you're new to it. And you see here, I've got some pages already set up. So it just popped up. But for you, if you didn't, this would not be here, right? So you can go here and add a business, business name. Okay, so this is gonna be different. This is not, if you're brand new to Google My Business, this is not what it normally looks like. It's only doing this because of the fact that I've already got a, whatchamacallit. So let me do this. Let me go to my Google My Business page that I already have set up and show you what the back end looks like. As you can see right now, my location, for whatever reason, has been suspended. It didn't like something. It didn't like my address or my telephone number or something like that. I've been verified twice, and here as of late, they have suspended me until they verify something else. On the call, the meet and greet call on Wednesday, I learned that the verification code that they sent me, I should have embedded it in my DNS information on my website in order for it to ping back that it was my website. I learned that from Angie, she's in the Notary Nerds group, and she said when she did that, it verified her again. And most people won't know to do that. To take that verification code, go over to your domain registrar, click on DNS, add an @ name. Who would have even known, right? Google didn't tell me that, but what they did do is they suspended me until I figured it out. So that's just what go ahead.
I just had a question, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but it was about the Google My Business page.
Okay.
And so do I have to have a website before I can get that? Because it verified it, and so now it's saying Google's reviewing it, but it's been 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah, that is another thing.
Do I need to do a
No,
website first?
no, you don't. No, because I didn't have one. I had the domain name, but I didn't have the website set up. So when I did mine, I didn't put a website in there, and I did not put an address in there. So my home address is not associated. My website is not yet associated, which is kind of a good thing. And then they went ahead and verified me, and it took almost about 2 weeks.
Okay.
But that was during like we have problems with the mail still, so it might just take a little bit longer.
Yeah, because I did get the code and I verified it. And what it's saying, it said your business will appear on Google after it's reviewed.
So it's just a matter of now just waiting, it sounds like, Deborah. So no, you don't
Okay.
have to, yeah. But I would, did you link? So if you didn't have a website, that means you didn't add one here to the Google My Business page then, right?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I've got the domain because it's Deborah@DigiNotaryServices.com. I've got the domain, but I didn't have a website. And I know you could have done it there, but I didn't.
I got you.
So I was just wondering, I'll give it another week. If I don't, I'll try to contact them, I guess.
Yeah, and here's the thing, everybody, when you come to Google My Business, it's gonna be somewhat frustrating because of that verification process, because you don't know what's gonna make you have to be re-verified again. Because again, all of my reviews and stuff that were feeding over to my website, once this suspension happened, they shut that down. So then when you went to my website, no longer could you see the reviews that I had earned, because at first it was kind of incorporated into the website. But once that suspension happened, they closed all of that off. Now let's talk about making sure your Google My Business page is as set up as it possibly could be. You want to start with pictures. Pictures, pictures, pictures. Those of you who are out doing signings that customers are comfortable with you taking a selfie with them, or maybe you're out and about doing notary work, definitely take pictures and definitely put as many pictures and video as you can on your Google My Business page. And here's why. When I was trying to figure out Google My Business, I spent one Saturday morning watching every YouTube video talk about how to enhance your SEO without spending a whole lot of money. One of the first things they said was the videos and pictures have what they call meta tags in them, okay? All of these phones, right? When we take a picture and we're at Starbucks, guess what? Our phones know that we are in Starbucks, and if I'm in Murfreesboro, it knows I'm in Murfreesboro. Google is about hyper local businesses, hyper. They want to make sure when a user comes to Google and conducts a search that the results are local businesses, not something 2 towns over or whatever. They want the user's experience to be a positive one. So when that user comes and searches for ice cream shops, Google wants it to really be ice cream shops near that user. The way you ensure that that happens and that Google favors you in an algorithm point of view is you put pictures and video on your Google My Business. Those pictures and video have what they call, like I say, meta tags that get embedded into the interwebs, okay? Once you put those on there and coupled with your obvious city, state, and zip, all of those things add to your SEO. So you're helping yourself when you're adding pictures, and not just any pictures. Again, pictures, yes, in your city, but pictures of you doing your work too. I don't have too many. I have some office pictures here, but I could do a little bit better on doing pictures that incorporate me doing signings, which I'm not doing, so it really wouldn't matter. But you get my point. When you're out and about, even if you do a quick 10-second heading into the signing, see, you know, have a great Wednesday. It could be a 10-second thing you do real quick on your phone before you head into a signing. You're keeping your customers' information private. You don't have to ask them for anything. But that meta tag data that's going to be in that video when you upload it is going to give you SEO help. What's going to enhance your credibility is you're busy doing the work. That's the video. That's the content of that video. With you turning that phone towards you, saying about to head into a signing, hope you guys have a great day, and that's it. You're putting it here on your Google My Business, so when somebody does search for a notary, they pull you up, they see you, they see that 10-second clip, and they're like, oh, okay, she's out doing stuff. It just kind of everything adds in together. Again, this is for the underdog. You have to do these little things like this in order to kind of get yourself an edge when it comes to marketing. Otherwise, you're going to have to spend money. All right. Any questions? Meta tag data, meta tag data, meta tag data. Outside of that, guys, Google My Business is, again, one of those click, update, and click. All right. Just go down the list. Over here on the left, you got home, you got info. You see a pin, click on it. It allows you to edit it. Okay. Edit. That's all you're doing. This is how you set up your Google My Business. 10, 15 minutes tops. Put your hours there, your service areas there. If you have special hours, whatever, you know, go ahead on. And this is going to help you as a business owner determine some of your standard stuff, like your business hours, okay, like your services. A lot of times we don't really think about what services do we offer. Here, you get the opportunity to add a service. So this, if you're very new, setting up your Google My Business page is going to really help you start to identify, well, what is it that I do? This is going to help you figure it out, right? Because you can come here, you can add custom service and so on and so forth. So Google My Business, got to get it done. You need to get this done before the next class if you haven't done that already, all right? Next class is going to be next month in a couple of weeks. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to do everything on this checklist before I throw another one at you. All right, so let's move back on to our checklist and see where we are. Any questions so far? I'm not going too fast, am I?
I got a quick question.
Okay, go ahead. Joy.
Okay, so I've been using my personal phone number and I really don't want to use that for my personal business. Do you have like any suggestions on a type of service to get like a business phone number that actually attached to your cell phone without using your cell phone number, your personal?
That's a good question. Unfortunately, no, I don't have a recommendation. What I did temporarily was I used answerhero.com.
Google Voice is great.
I have my opinions about Google Voice. If you can use Google Voice without that, please wait while we're trying to connect you to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is what they do.
Yeah, if you can get rid of, it's again, you're a little dog and you don't want to look littler, if that's a word.
Right.
Google Voice is great for who? Us. Think customer. What is the customer's experience going to be like? Every single time I call somebody with a Google Voice, I'm just like, really? Okay? Because please wait while now, if you can mask that, I think there may be an option for you to get Google Voice and not have that not happen. So it sounds like you're making a call direct, then absolutely by all means go to Google Voice.
You can, Monica. I've done it. I just got to figure out how to do it again because I'm in real estate investing as well. So I had a separate phone number I had a business phone number, but I set up a Google Voice and I was able to where it'll just ring.
Okay.
Using the Google Voice. I just have to figure it out. And
Yes.
if I do figure it out, the next class, I'll let everybody know.
Okay. Yes, that would be good because you definitely don't want that ring back. You already are small. You don't want to, you don't want to do anything that's going to point that out even more. In a business, you don't want someone that gets your number off of Google from a Google search trying to get a notarization, let's say, and then they get that, please wait while they might wait. But you don't want to give any opportunity for that benefit of doubt on your business, and to me, having that announcement when it's the norm for the phone to just ring is out of it makes it, I don't want that. I don't want my customers to hear that. If they call another business, what's going to happen? The phone is going to ring and either the voicemail is going to come on or somebody is going to answer it. They're not going to call the bank or a title company and hear, please wait while we find your person. They're not going to hear that. So I don't want my business phone to do that. So answerhero.com, you guys check them out. Those of you who have it in the budget to have somebody answer your calls for you. Because here's the other thing. If you're out doing loan signings, you actually do need some kind of a service, an answering service or a very good voicemail system where you don't miss calls. Because the thing about when you set up your Google My Business is people will call you. People will call you for stuff. And if you don't answer, they're going to call the next person. So it would be great if you could think in terms of maybe not now, again, lead with revenue. Think in terms of, okay, how are my phone calls going to get answered if I'm in the midst of a signing? Because you can't do everything at once. You can't be all things. So if you're busy, you need to have a means by which that your phone rings and goes somewhere in a professional way that hopefully lets that customer know that, okay, she'll get back with me as soon as she can. And if they can't wait and they go on to the next person, then so be it. They just go on to the next person. But any questions about that so far? We're gonna go on to websites next.
One quick thing, Monica. It looks like somebody in the chat. Is there another Monica on here? She said you can disable it in settings on your computer. And I think that's what I did with the Google Voice.
Okay.
And then it was able to just ring normal. So Monica, if you're on here, I was just reading the chat comments. I think that's what she was saying about disabling it in relation to the Google Voice. You can do it on the computer in your settings. So just a FYI.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Here you go then. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get signed into my website and I had forgotten my passcode or forgotten my password. All right, so now we're going to talk website. And as soon as I get my code entered, I will share my screen so that you guys can see the back office on my GoDaddy website. Like I say, use them because it's just easy. Very easy for me. All right, so let's go to all right, so I'm going to share here. And that way you can see what the back end of GoDaddy website looks like. So you come down to my back office and you see that I've got the ability to come and edit, add photos. You can do some blogs. You can do all types of things that help your SEO, right? I like this GoDaddy situation because it just kind of guided me on what I needed to do. And it's telling me, hey, congrats, you're one of the top performing sites. I don't even know what that means, but it tells me how many people have viewed the page. Obviously, I'm not taking any orders on this and I'm not doing any bookings on this. So we'll go click on edit. And just to illustrate how easy it is to use, yesterday, or actually on Thursday when we were on the notary meet and greet call, we had just completed the notary permit runner class the day before. And I realized and I started to formulate what areas of business that I knew I wanted to focus in on. So that having been said, I went to my website and started to craft those services. So before I had, I don't think I had anything right here. I had the the Google reviews were right here. But since Google suspended my page, then it was just blank. So I replaced it with these service offerings. So I'm going to be offering notary permit runner, remote online notarization, and then I've got this community service program. And then thanks to Angie on that call, she mentioned the safe deposit box witness. So I've added that as a service. I did include my certifications and then links to my social sites. Makes it very, very easy to do. If I wanted to add a page, I would just come over here and click on add page. And then I would name the page. Maybe I want to go into more detail on my notary permit runner services. So I go type in notary permit runner and I tell it to create the page. There it is. Page is blank. I can add a section. What do I want it to be? I can do an about. Add that section and call it notary. What is a notary permit runner? And if I don't like the color because it's kind of dark, I can change it, right? See how easy it makes it? If I don't like this picture, I can change it. Makes it very easy. This is why I like GoDaddy. It makes you feel like you're really more technologically savvy than you really are. And if I wanted to be really creative, since I'm trying to educate them on Notary Permit Runner, I would go get a graphic that matched. I would go either create a graphic in Canva that matched, or I would pay somebody on Fiverr to get me a nice graphic communicating what it is I'm trying to say. So I would use this and I would say, you know, we save you time. You know, I would do all this. I would go in here and I would type my copy to match whatever it is I'm trying to convey on this page. Once I'm done, I would click done and I would click publish, but I'm going to preview it right now. All right, so here's what it would look like on a preview. And GoDaddy also, if you look over to the right, shows me what it would look like on an iPhone or an Android. Right? And that's just the page I just created. If I were to click on publish and give it just a moment, it'll be live. So then now you can, if you're on a computer, go to completesigningsllc.com and you'll see that new page. Click Notary Permit Runner at the top, bam, there it is. No time at all. This is why I love GoDaddy. And there may be other ones just as user-friendly, right? I'm not taking away from Wix or whoever else, but I wouldn't get into a whole bunch of, you know, if you have to do a lot of technical stuff to let me say this. When you are a solopreneur, you do not have time to be doing all of these things, okay? You've got to get out there and make money. So you have to make sure that you do not get bogged down with the administration of your business. And you have to utilize tools that make your business efficient. So if that tool is a user-friendly website that allows you to go in and make changes to your services on the fly and very easily, then great. But if you go and you get somebody to build you a website, then if you want to make a change to it and you discover another opportunity, then you got to go back to them to be able to do it. That doesn't keep you nimble in the marketplace. As a self-employed individuals, the solopreneurs, the one advantage we have over the big guys is we are nimble. Do you know how difficult it is to turn a boat, a big boat? It takes a long time to turn a big boat, right? But if you're in a little canoe, you're the little canoe. You're the one that can nimbly move and quick, and you want all of your accoutrements of your business to be nimble with you, from your website to your service offerings. You don't want to be hunkered down like a big old boat I think I'll change in 2022. We're headed that way. No, you don't want that. Nor do you don't want that. You want to be able to say, oh, okay, Ron is a new thing. Boom, let me go change my website. Boom, boom, boom. Does the state let us do it? Oh, they do. Great. Let me get my stuff going. I can change it in a heartbeat. That's being nimble. When you're a little guy, you want to use that to your advantage, because the other companies are going to have to revamp their whole thing in order to offer what you're offering. And you can come in and offer it in a splash just by making some changes to your website. If it's easy for you to do, if you chose the right company to get your website with. Right? All right, so that's website. Let's go on. Any questions before we go on?
Yes, I have one quick one, Monica.
Okay, go ahead,
For the
Michelle.
website, yeah. So for the website, I'm getting a little overwhelmed because I was going to start building it this weekend, and I was looking at other notaries, and they have some have like yours, which is simple. And then they got ones that has pages and pages. So would you just start out with just having a home page, about page, maybe service page and fees, and then contact, and that's it, like those general 5 ones?
Exactly. You
Okay.
hit the nail on the head. And you know why? Because the customer is not going to go through all those pages.
Right.
You want to keep your site simple and clean and easy to use so your customers can navigate it very easily. So I think you are on the right track, Michelle. Just keep it, about us, homepage, services, pricing, or, and if you maybe have a booking page or something like that, and we'll talk about that in the next class, because you're going to tie your booking, your Square appointments or whatever appointment scheduler you use, Calendly, whatever, you're going to incorporate that into your site so that people can go to your site and book an appointment with you.
Okay,
so that's going to be next, but good question.
All right, this is Violet.
Hey, Violet.
Yes, I went to Google Voice and I put in the chat how to take that name off of your phone call when someone comes in, when someone calls you, and it'll come directly to your phone. I just did it since we've been on the call.
Thank you, Violet. Okay, you guys, that was a golden nugget Violet just dropped. It's in the chat. She's got it listed here at 8:38. Okay, to disable the name on Google Voice, go to settings, call, scroll down. She's got it right there. Now, for those of you who are on a desktop, you can't do this on a phone. There's a little, if you open the chat, there's 3 dots. Click on it and you can save that chat onto your desktop. Thank you very much, Violet, for doing that. That's what I'm talking about.
You're welcome.
Getting it done. All right, so we've talked about Google My Business, professional website. Let's hop over to Facebook. Sharon, yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I did that by accident.
Okay, no problem. So we're gonna keep on pushing. I actually have Facebook listed twice, and forgive me, that should be LinkedIn. So now that you've done all this other lead up stuff, name, domain, email, IRS, EIN, business address, Google My Business, all this stuff, now you need to get your social sites put together. Your Facebook, your Instagram, your YouTube, and your LinkedIn. Now, all of these are going to be self-explanatory because you guys are probably already familiar with them. However, your branding needs to match across all platforms. Don't use a profile picture on your Facebook from 1995 and have a picture from 2002 on your LinkedIn, right? Don't do that. Take the time. All of these things on this list should take you less than 2 weeks to do. Some of you already have a big part of this done, so it really shouldn't take, you might spend some time here because you need a business Facebook. You need an Instagram for your business. Don't try to do too much. Like for those of us who have several things going on, no. Let me get a couple people to drop in the chat your Instagram handles, please. I need to go to 1 or 2 of those so we can see what we're working with. Anybody got an Instagram handle? I'm going to put
I'm sorry, I have a question, Miss Monica, while you're working on that.
Okay, go ahead.
So I have a love-hate relationship with social media. I like to get on there, and that's kind of my form of entertainment or whatever. But I hate pictures and posts. So instead of using my personal page, would you recommend you switch that to just the business page since I don't care to be on it anyway? Or
yes. And here's the thing. I'm gonna say this, and y'all gonna hate it. And I know it's a lot of people out there that feel the same way as you, Narisa, is you don't want to use your business, you're not on Facebook and you're not, if you are a little dog in a big pond and you're trying to get this money, you are going to have to get on social media. I just don't know no other way around it. And you can, I think, have a business page without having a page, a private, personal page. I don't know, because I got all of them. So I'm not really sure how that works. But I'm telling you, if you don't have a business page, you might as well, I don't even know what you're going to do. Okay.
Okay. I got a question when you get ready. This Violet.
Okay, go ahead, Violet.
I have a question for you. I have what is it? IG and Facebook. Do I need to let me back up. I have a business page, but it's like a personal page for myself. It's called Miss Stevenson for Facebook. And then I have an Instagram business page. However, there's nothing on it. So how would I
That's a good
get
question.
those started?
That's a good question. So always, well, what I'm going to do is go back and think in terms of who? The customer.
The customer, right.
So then what I'll do is I'll say, okay, Violet, what is your business name again?
At MS underscore, oh, my business is MNS Mobile Notary.
Okay. So what I would do is I would change one of those Instagram account names to MS Mobile Notary.
Well, I tried that. It wasn't available. It gave me MS underscore notary.
Okay. That's a good point. And I'm glad you brought that up. So all of you listen up. When you're trying to brand your business across these social sites, you might, when you picking your name, you might want to
it
go
wasn't
check.
available.
Right. If you pick something, sometimes you're not going to be in. Now, he or she who wins, I'm gonna tell you how you win. You win when your domain and your email and your Facebook and your Instagram,
All of it
and
match
your
up.
Twitter and your YouTube all match. You win it. You win in the branding game. Okay. Now some of us can't win. Why? Because our domain we got, our email we got matchy, but we came over to Instagram and we ran into a roadblock because they already got the name took. So now somebody's out using your brand name on Instagram, but you're using it on Facebook and whatever else.
Exactly.
So when that happens, you just kind of have to roll with it. You can't go undo everything. Those of you who haven't done anything yet, you can use this as very sage advice to go check all of these bases before you zone in on one, before you get your EIN, right? So that if you run into a little hiccup, maybe you can make a little twist and change that will allow for you to get, consistency across all platforms. But if you've already secured your EIN and your business name and got your business account and all of these things, then you're just gonna, on your social sites, just have to do the best with what you can. So in your case, Violet, then it would be grabbing the underscore, right? Grabbing the one that you could grab that would allow for you to still get close enough to your business's name.
Right. But I'm still trying to find that MS notary if it's possible. I always go back and check.
And I heard my name. Somebody said my name. Who was that?
Michelle.
Michelle, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I do, you ladies and gentlemen, I think there's one gentleman on here. What I do is when I'm starting different, because I do have a few businesses, I go to this website called Name Check, and it checks social media platforms as well as it can check for a domain. So that's why when I come up with my business name, it's like a one-stop shop where I can check to see if the domain is available as well as the social medias. And if so, like Ms. Monica said, I go and grab everything. I grab the domain, I go set up the Facebook page. Even if you don't put content in it, just start it and grab all of the stuff. That way everything is consistent. So that's what I do.
Great advice. Thank you.
What's the name of that page that she stated?
I'll put it in the chat. I'm gonna put it in the chat box now.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
You're
Michelle.
welcome. You're welcome.
Okay.
So Monica.
Yes.
So I have an Instagram, but I've never do anything, just look at other people's stuff that I follow. So I don't have any posts or anything. So can I change that to my notary name?
Yes.
That page?
Yes. And when you do, and I'm just going to give you guys, okay, if you guys are on Instagram, go to my Instagram at completesigningllc.com. I'm sorry, at Complete Signings LLC. So I have 575 followers, but you can get an idea of the kind of, I was going to try to show it on my screen, but you can get an idea of some of the kinds of posts that I'm not doing too much, but Deborah, when you get yours set up, you want your bio, move it. You want your bio. If you'll notice, you'll see that face, you'll notice that face on all my stuff. right?
Okay.
That bio, you want to use that bio as an opportunity to to drill down on what you do and who you are, and then you want to make posts that are specific or notary related. You want to, so you want to start building your social media platforms around your business now. And if for those of you guys who have separate businesses, do one each for. I got 3 Instagram accounts. I got 4 actually, right? So remember, customer centric. The customer don't care that I'm a farmer when I'm talking to them about notary stuff, right? So I'm not gonna put farmer stuff on my notary page. I'm gonna try to keep all of that separate if I can. And you should be able to.
Okay, because it said switch to professional account. When I switch to professional account.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So when I switch to that, will that old one still be there or will that delete that?
No, when you switch it, it's gonna switch it. It's gonna take it and take it. You're gonna be a new account, and it's gonna make, And that's another. I'm glad you said that though, because Deborah, because you definitely want a business. You want a professional account because it's gonna allow you to do some marketing, which we're gonna talk about. We're not ready for that yet, but this little Instagram marketing is a bad mama jamma. I'm telling you. So start to build up now Instagram and all these different platforms have different purposes. Let's talk about that briefly. We talked about on the checklist, you've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, you've got YouTube, and you have Facebook listed again. Mark through that last Facebook and put LinkedIn. Every one of those platforms has a different purpose. Facebook is fun, okay? When you set up your business Facebook page, you're going to be reaching out to your SOI and they're on Facebook. Why? Because they're having fun. They don't need you to be serious. I mean, you can be businessy, but just know your platform. YouTube is educational. People come to YouTube to learn. So when you put your content on YouTube, it's going to be from that point of view. Instagram is about photos and videos. Okay? High quality photos and videos. So when you're posting on YouTube, it's high quality photos and videos. You're not typing books. You're not 3-4 paragraphs deep. Okay, you are enhancing the feed of whoever's watching with some great stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some quick, cool, snippet of a video or something fun or a meme or something business related, but it's not overly serious, right? On Instagram, but it's all about high definition, right? So for those of you who were like me and refused to do this iPhone thing, I have a testimony. I had a BlackBerry up until 3 years ago. I went to Android. I refused to go iPhone because you were not going to tell me what to do. You're not going to tell me what kind of charger to have. You're not going to tell me who to call for customer support. I want to be able to be free. I'm not going to join you, iPhone. Now I'm here to tell you, this iPhone is one of the best business investments I have ever made. And the reason is because it makes me look bigger than I really am. I can take this iPhone, put it on 4K 60, take a quick picture, upload it to my YouTube by sending it through the airdrop, okay? This thing right here, it has made a whole big difference in my ability to market myself on social media. How I met some of you guys started right here, okay? So I get it. I was team Android, and even if you want to keep it all the way real, I was team BlackBerry. I had the Q10. I was not gonna leave my BlackBerry until I just got shamed into leaving it, okay? And went Android, and I went to Android for a couple of years. When the Android broke, then I finally got this, okay? So I recommend iPhone. I'm talking to you on a Mac right now. I'm all in now. Why? Because they get it. They are customer centric. They know that if I'm out doing something, and I need to get this to my YouTube or do this, and I can boom, 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 boom. They thought about the customer, and I appreciate them for that. So that's just a thought. Okay. All right. So moving along, before we move on, are there any more questions? Social media. Go ahead, Deborah. Did you have one?
No, I'm sorry. I was trying to put myself back on mute. I must have raised my hand.
Okay, so pictures on your profile, bios on your social media, descriptions. So your Facebook page, go update your description. get your logo done. And we didn't talk about logo tonight because I'm just assuming that you guys have already, kind of gone down that road. Is there anybody who needs any input on logo? Anybody?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so with your logo, for those of you who haven't committed to a logo yet, Fiverr is your best friend. Let's look at it. Fiverr is your best friend. Fiverr. Get my code from them. I love all this two-step verification sometimes, but sometimes it's like, goodness gracious. Okay, here's Fiverr. I like this guy right here, BATRARA. He's the guy that does some of my graphics, right? When I saw this post, or when I saw this in his portfolio, I was like, yeah, he's who you go to do if you're doing some marketing on Facebook where you're going to be boosting some posts and carrying those over to Instagram. You want them done by a professional graphic artist. You don't want to just necessarily always use Canva. Again, as self-employed people, we don't need to do everything. When I did purchase this service, look at how much it cost me. $5 plus another $2.50 for tax or something. So it was $7 and something altogether. And I was able to take that professionally done post to my business page on Facebook. I posted it, then I boosted it. Then once I boosted it, I got all kinds of hits. I got engagement. I got some new customers. I got some new people that joined my YouTube. It was a very positive result for $7.25 for my graphic and $20 in boosting that post. So for under $30, I was able to take and brand my business. You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm going to show you guys how to do. So you want to be able to spend money where it makes sense. Could I go to Canva and create a graphic that fit Facebook? Probably. But should I have? No, because it would have taken me too much time. It was $7.25. It looked a whole lot better at the end of the day, and it was done. Again, get it done. If you spend too much time rolling around on one thing, you'll never get your business to move forward. So Fiverr is your new business partner. At the end of the year, you should have spent $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 with Fiverr. Because as you make money, you want to go back and get some more graphics. You want to keep it going. You want to keep it fresh. You want to keep it going. You want to make sure you stay top of mind with some professional looking graphics on your social media sites. Now you can filter those in with some of the things that you've gone to Canva and to create. But when you're thinking about setting yourself apart as this little fish in this big pond on social media, which is your new best friend, folks, as a solopreneur, right? You're going to have to lean on these, the Fiverrs of the world to get your graphic game in order, because you don't want to look like everybody else's Canva template, because everybody knows about Canva. And if you don't know about Canva, I'll show you it real quick. Canva is a awesome tool that you can use to go and create Facebook posts and all sorts of things. Like, let's see here. I'll see if it'll let me log into my, it's gonna make me type it. I don't know if I wanna. I bet you it's not gonna be. Okay. Hold on, let me see if it'll let me do it without typing, because I can't. I always use the wrong.
You need to get LastPass so that it saves it and it's in a vault.
Yeah, I do. And so what I've been doing, since I don't do that, is I usually go to the browser. Like I usually open up all of this stuff in Safari and it'll do it for me. But I was in Google Chrome, so it'll do it here.
See, and you need to do a class for those of us who are Android, who are thinking about going Apple, that are really not savvy in it, so.
Oh, we need to do that. Okay. So I'm in Canva now because I switched over to the Safari browser, which is what I use and where I keep all my passwords stored because I prefer that at Safari versus Google. That's just a thing. But so here we are. Canva is a place where you can come and create a design. If I want to create a design for Facebook, I come over here, click create design and say Facebook. Well, what kind of Facebook? Well, if I'm building out my Facebook business page from the ground up, I need a Facebook cover. This Canva template, 1640 by 924, is going to be the perfectly aligned template. But in this case, I may want to do a Facebook post. So here we go. And then it gives you the perfect dimensions of what a Facebook post is. You come over here, you can have all types of graphics to look for. You know, you can type in the word notary and you're going to get all kinds of options to look at. Some of you guys have seen some of these things before. So you say you wanted to use this, you bring it over to your post, you right click, set the image as the background, you come and get some text, you grab a heading, and you say, call me today, or whatever. You get the point, right? This is Canva. Then once you get done with that, you download it. You don't publish it directly, you just download it to your computer. And then once it's downloaded, you can take it to your Facebook page and post it, right? Now, is this gonna look as good as what somebody would do on Fiverr? No, but you can filter in some of your content, and content is things that you post with your homemade stuff. Just don't have your business page full of homemade stuff, okay? Go over to Fiverr, spend the money, okay? And get some posts that are professionally done, making sure that your calls to action are appropriate. Don't do this yet because we haven't trained on it. If you do a Fiverr, as a matter of fact, let me go to my orders. I think this is the one he did. When I say call to action, just for those of you guys who are wondering, this is a call to action. This is the post that he did for me. Okay. Okay. This is the post that he did for me. I'm sorry, this is the graphic that he did for me that I turned around and posted. What was my call to action? Offer expires 1/31. A call to action is something that makes people move their feet, that makes people do what you want them to do. And what I wanted them to do, and in this graphic, notice I didn't put a whole bunch of verbiage. Why? Because I knew I was going to type a sentence or two on my Facebook post. So your Facebook post, this graphic doesn't have to have your business's name. It doesn't have to have your address. It doesn't have to have your phone number, because this graphic is going to be posted on your business page, which already has all of that information. So don't convolute your graphic with a bunch of demographic information that's already going to be on your Facebook page. Rather, use your graphic as the opportunity to communicate to the reader what you want them to know and incorporate a call to action. So this is why I say get ready to start utilizing Fiverr when it comes to your graphics. But first, you want to set up your social media sites. You need a Facebook business page to recap. You need an Instagram page. You need a YouTube channel, and you need a LinkedIn at a very minimum. I'm not very good on Twitter because I don't do Twitter. But if you're a Twitter person, go ahead and add Twitter to that list. Any questions before we move on? Throwing a lot
What was
at
that name that you used?
I'm sorry.
What was the name of the graphic artist you used?
Oh, sure. Let me go back. It is Batra Rahul, BATRARAHUL. And I used, if you're looking for someone to do your logo, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was saying thank you.
You're welcome, Aaliyah or Cynthia. Now, if you need a logo, let me tell you, they got me tight. Look at what they did for your girl. You see?
That's nice.
$52 is what that cost me. Okay? You're going to spend different amounts for different things. This is my logo, for goodness sakes. Most people spend hundreds and even thousands of dollars on a logo. So was I worried about spending $50 on my logo? Did I expect to spend $7 on my logo? No, right? You get what you pay for. So I looked around and I actually tried another gentleman. Let me show you the other logo. Now this order, if you guys want to use her, it's Shailene George, SHAILENE_George. Now, let me show you who I used before her and canceled it. Let me go back and show you what they did. I don't know if it's still going to be something I can see. Let's see if I can click on it. Okay. Unfortunately, there's no example, but it didn't work. It wasn't, I ended up canceling the order. There it is. Maybe they don't open because it just, yeah, here it is. You see that?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Exactly. So you might have to play around with who you use.
I have a question. This is Violet.
Yes, Violet.
If you have a logo, would you recommend changing it if you thought it was needed?
Absolutely. And you know why?
Okay.
And we don't even worry about what people think about it. Because as a business owner, if you're asking yourself that question and you think there may be some enhancements that you can do to your logo before you start getting really out there, then do those now, make those changes, and then you won't have to worry about doing them later.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see here. Kenyatta, I submitted both my Instagram and Facebook handles for example purposes. These are two social media platforms can interchangeably work together. Just takes a bit to get set up and communicate with one another. Very true. Very true. Oh, TikTok. Yes. Oh, how could I forget about TikTok? If you can figure TikTok out for your notary business, you are going to win. Okay. There's loan officers out there doing stuff, credit repair people, there's doctors, there's insurance people. Once you learn TikTok, you're in. Now, TikTok is a platform that you can't be serious. It's not a serious place. It's TikTok, for goodness sake. So don't go on TikTok trying to be like you're on YouTube. Treat the platform appropriately toward, whatever it is. If you're going to be on TikTok, prepare to do some fun stuff, right? Maybe you're dancing around or whatever, who knows? But just make sure you know your platform or else you won't get any headway. All right. Yeah, TikTok, you got to have I happen to have a 13 and a 15-year-old, and they've kind of got me up to snuff on TikTok. So you need to get a teenager, a young person that gets you educated on TikTok. All right, let's keep it moving. We've got some more stuff to cover.
I have a quick question. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead, Aaliyah.
Do you mind just briefly explaining quickly the purposes of each of the platforms? Because I missed a few while you were explaining them.
Okay, sure. So Facebook is your almost like your credibility spot. And it's going to be a fun spot for your when we think about the consumer and the customer, what do they use Facebook for? And just like, me and you, when we go on Facebook, we're just kind of there. It's not like we're doing some serious business deal or whatever. We're just checking people out and, maybe we see a video we like and, oh, that I might want to buy that. So Facebook is an impulse buy. Okay. If you're scrolling on Facebook and you see something that catches your eye, you might buy it, you might not. You're not going to Facebook to learn. However, when you go to YouTube, your specific thing going to YouTube is probably to learn how to do something. So your content that you give on Facebook is not necessarily going to have that whole, I'm going to teach you. It's just going to show you something that maybe you might like while you're scrolling. You might click on it and buy it, or maybe you might join the group or whatever you're being asked to do on that Facebook post. Come over to YouTube. Your videos are going to be targeted towards how to do something, how to get your something notarized. How do you do this? How do you do that? Teaching. On Instagram, it's all about entertaining and it's all about high definition. So you want high quality videos. You want to make sure your phone is being held in landscape versus vertical. You want to eliminate the black boxes on the side of your Instagram. You want to get up to date on what looks good on Instagram. If you've got an Android, you want to know your settings on your camera and be intentional about updating those settings to the right. Like on this iPhone, I have a lot of different settings on my camera. I can go from, on my video rather, I can go from HD 30 to HD 60 to 4K 30 to 4K. When I really want my stuff to pop, I put my stuff on 4K 60, right? When I'm taking pictures, I'm always in landscape if I'm putting them on Instagram. right? I've got the best camera in the game. So I know my quality is going to be good when I use this to take pictures. But Instagram is about high quality pictures, fun. You know, you just have to, you know, that platform is all about fun, high quality videos. It's not about, I'm going to teach you something. Even though I've been seeing lately some Instagram posts that do have that kind of element to them. I don't necessarily stay there for that though. I just, when I'm on Instagram, I'm really just looking to, like most people, just to see the pictures. And I may watch a story if it's engaging enough. But again, Instagram is not for teaching. It is for high quality pictures. So when you're posting your content, make sure you got good camera and all that good stuff. LinkedIn, completely 100% all about business. And if you have not yet made the investment into your business by getting this book, I would highly recommend it. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Hopefully you can. It's the LinkedIn book by Bill Soroka, how to maximize your, how to supercharge your notary business on LinkedIn. And it starts with everything like we just talked about, your graphics. You can even go and invest in a LinkedIn graphic from a Fiverr, Fiverr graphic artist, or you can do something on Canva and create your LinkedIn banner if you'd like. I'm going to show you my LinkedIn account because there's an art form to LinkedIn, an art form that I'm not even really good at. I'm learning it now as I go. All right, so your LinkedIn is where the serious, if you're going direct and you're going after title companies and you're going to try to get direct business, this is where they're going to come and check you out. If your picture isn't right, if your profile isn't right, okay, you're going to be at a disadvantage. You want a banner that's actually, let me go to my profile. You want a banner? My banner needs work. Where's Michelle? Let me show you a good profile. Where is Michelle's? Oh, NC Notary, where is she at? Let me see here. There she is, Michelle Pride. This is what your LinkedIn should look like. You see that banner? You see that picture? You see this, how she's got her titles, dot, 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 dot. You see that? This is what you want your link. If your LinkedIn doesn't look like this, then this is where you need to start, is figuring out how to get your LinkedIn to look a certain kind of way. Bill talks about it in his book. And if you guys are free, join us for the book club in the morning at 9 o'clock. We're going to be talking about chapters 6 through 10 tomorrow. But LinkedIn is a place where businesses are going to come and check you out. So those of you who are going to ultimately be going direct and you don't want to just do signing service work, in the case of the loan signings, you're going to need to get a very nicely put together LinkedIn profile. And it's not just about the pictures on LinkedIn. It's about your bio. It's about your about us. What is your story? You need to tell that story effectively and succinctly. You need to make sure you go back 2 or 3 years on your education, on your employment. Okay, even back to high school, he recommends. And that's just because you never know who you're going to connect with. Maybe your name is different. Yeah, we get that. But you want people to be able to find a reason to connect with you because people do business with people they know, like, and trust. Okay. All right, let's move on. Target audience and, oh my goodness, I lost it. Target audience and business model are the last 2 things, and then we'll be done. Let me share my screen again. All right. So determine your target audience and determine your business model. If your target, and this may be in the, I should have switched these around. Let's talk business model. Business model is how you're going to make your money. If you're going to sign up with signing services, then that's your business model. That means you're going to go, and your whole job in life is to sign up with as many signing services as you can. And that way you're increasing your odds, and you're going to be getting more and more signings. And pretty soon you're going to be out there rolling and rolling and rolling in signings. Okay. That is one business model. There's another business model that is just general notary work. And that's basically your wills, your affidavits, your powers of attorney, your medical powers of attorney, your things that do not require, that are not a part of a loan signing. That's basically general notary work. Does anybody have a question? Okay, that's basically your general notary work. So you may have a business model that is just made up of general notary work, or you could do a hybrid model that consists of both. So you need to make a determination of what is your business model. And then once you make that determination, it'll help you determine who your target audience is. So for instance, if I know that I want to do loan signings exclusively, then I know that I have a target audience of either signing services or title companies, because those are the people who are going to give me loan signings. So then I have to determine, am I going to just focus on signing services? If so, then there's one thing. And if it's going to be title companies, then my marketing needs to look different. But you have to make that determination before you start marketing, because as soon as you determine business model, then you're going to determine target audience. So for me, my business model, I pivoted. I started out trying to do a signing service with general notary work as the focus. Well, that didn't work. So in the process of me doing that, I learned that notaries wanted more education. So I pivoted to an educational platform for notaries, right? I saw the writing on the wall when the Notary Nerds Facebook group started going and going and going and going. And then I started meeting more and more and more and more instructors. So I knew that I could bring those two things together, and then that would be my new business model. So now my target audience are notaries. You are my target audience. So I want to end up in your news feed. I want to be where you are. I want to provide things of value to you, because why? You are I want to do things like this to add value to you, because you are my target audience. I want to take care of you. So when you think about your target audience, you need to think about them in the same way. Who do you want to take care of, right? Who do you want to be of service to? If it's signing services, then you need to make sure that you are as thorough as possible when you do get signings, you're communicative as possible, and your marketing is in effect signing up. When you're a signing service model, your marketing is not calling the signing service and saying you're the greatest. It's signing up with as many signing services as you can and doing good signings and following up and being, communicative and doing what you're supposed to do. That's all the marketing you need when you're working the signing service model. If you're going to work the direct model and try to go after title companies, then you're going to have to do some email marketing. You're going to have to find out who at the title company makes the determinations on who gets chosen as a notary. You're going to have to do a pop-up. You're going to have to stay up top of mind in any way that you can. So your marketing is going to be different because your target audience is going to be different, right? So determining your business model comes really before anything, because that will lead you into who your audience is. All right. So what we're going to do when we close, before closing out, and this has been a little longer, so I apologize for keeping you guys so long, but you've got 30 seconds. We're going to go around the room, 30 seconds, no more, right? You're going to tell me two things: business model, target audience. Okay. Business model, target audience. We're all notaries here. So either you're going to be doing loan signings, or you're going to be doing general notary work, or you're going to be doing a hybrid. So it's either loan signings, GNW, or hybrid. That's one answer. Target audience is either going to be signing services or title companies if you're doing loan signings. And if you're doing general notary work, don't just say target audience, general notary work. No sirree, no sir ma'am. You're going to say who? Attorneys, hospitals. Who is your target audience? Nursing homes? I want you to start thinking in that vein. So we're going to start with B. If you could come off of.
I am doing probably like a subscription service, and it's going to be with general notary work towards lawyers with wills and trusts.
Love it. Linda Edwards.
Loan signings and signing services.
Perfect. Violet. We'll come back. Laura.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there she is.
Oh, I apologize. Nursing homes and hospitals for
Okay.
general notary work.
Okay, there we go. Laura. All right. Kay Goodman. All right. Kenyatta. Kenyatta says, I currently complete attorney, CPA, and loan signings. Oh, she's on another training call. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Kenyatta. Aaron.
Loan signings and signing services.
Okay. Very good. Desiree.
Hybrid.
Very good.
Direct signing services as well as attorneys, also notary permit runner. We're gonna just take it all in.
Nice. I love it. Narisa. Oh, Laura's back. Hold on, Narisa. Laura, I understand. If you want to, you can put it in the chat. The question is signing who your target audience is, business model and target audience. All right, and Patricia chimed in and she told me general notary work with wills and probate, trust and attorney. Okay, very good. Narisa, are you there? You want to give us your business model and target audience?
Oh.
Okay, Sharon.
Yeah, I'm gonna focus on notary permit runner, so I'll be focusing on contractors.
Okay, so general notary work is your business model, and then your target audience is general contractors.
Right.
So,
Okay.
Okay, Nicole.
Loan signings, and my general audience, I guess right now is signing services, but I want to branch out into direct.
Okay, perfect. Avis.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so my business model is notary permit runner, remote notary, and loan signings.
Okay.
My target audience is, and also bankruptcy petition preparation. My target audience is going to be the bankruptcy attorneys and debt settlement people for the bankruptcy petition preparation, and then loan signing service companies, title companies, and general contractors.
Okay, so your business model is hybrid, right? So your business model is not necessarily notary permit run. I just want you to get that language. You're right. Your business model is either going to be a loan signing business model, a general notary work business model, or a hybrid, which is a combination of the two. Now, when you say notary permit runner,
hybrid.
Right, so you're hybrid. I want you guys to get these terms because I'm
Yes,
the business.
hybrid.
Right. So when we talk business model, make sure you put it in one of those three categories. And then when you talk target audience, not necessarily telling me what you're going to do, but telling me who you're going to do it for. So great job,
Yes.
David. All right, Joy.
That'll be
Business
hybrid.
Model. Okay.
I'm sorry. Model is hybrid. My target audience is going to be signing services, direct, and contractors.
Very good. Sinitra.
Sorry, I had to find the unmute. Mine is hybrid, and my target audience is the signing services and the general public.
Okay, Google My Business is the general public, so that's good. Okay, very good. Michelle.
Yes, so I'll be doing the hybrid as my model, and the target audience would be sign-in services, and then hopefully direct, and then just the community as far as general notary work with long-term care, because I'm a nurse, so long-term care, hospitals, banks, schools, and churches.
Very good. Aaliyah.
Hybrid. My target audience will be direct, signing services, attorneys, hospitals, nursing homes, local community members, and banks.
You guys are getting it. Very good. Retta.
Okay. My business model will be hybrid, and my target audience will be general contractors, attorneys, nursing homes, and just the general public.
Okay, and then you think you're hybrid, you're doing loan signing. So who would your target audience be under that side of the fence? Signing service.
I'll start off with signing companies,
Okay.
and then until I can get to direct.
Gotcha. Lavinia.
Signing company, hybrid, and notary permit runner. And my target companies will be like the signing companies, general construction workers, and probably go direct too.
Awesome. Helen.
Mine would be a business model hybrid.
Okay.
And I would go for signing companies, nursing homes, direct with people. And also that apostille, not sure how to put that or what that is, but I'm very interested in that.
Okay, very good. I would probably categorize that as a general notary work, even though.
General, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would probably fit well under that. Very good. Stephanie.
Let's see. Hi there. I'm going to be doing hybrid.
Okay.
And then my target audience will be title companies, community service programming, and the filming permits.
Very good. Raymondette.
Hi, my business model would be hybrid. And let's see, my general audience would be signing services, the general public, vulnerable communities. I would like to do a lot of volunteer work.
Very good.
And that's about it.
Very good. Deborah.
My be hybrid with signing services, and my target audience will be hospitals, nursing retirement homes, general public, and throwing a little of the vehicle auto titles.
Very good. Monique.
Hello. Hi. Okay, my business model will be hybrid. My target would be direct work title and loan signing work, as well as
We're having a hard time. Okay, we're having a hard time hearing you because there was so much background noise. I think we heard hybrid loan signings, and you were about to tell us more. If you could drop it in the chat. MA, am I saying that properly?
Yes, you are. Hybrid, I'm thinking about mostly doing signing services.
Okay.
And some general notary work as well.
Okay. Any idea of where you want to focus your efforts, who your target audience is on GNW?
Mostly, I was thinking about like trust. So like attorneys.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Patina.
Thank you.
My model is hybrid, and my target audience is signing services, going direct, attorneys, and general public.
Nice. Related right on now. Very good. Patricia. And Patricia, I saw you put in the chat here, you wanted to explain the different types of services. Were you talking about the difference between general notary work? And tell me what you meant by that question.
The permit runner.
Oh,
I'm just not familiar with those terms.
Sure. Just real briefly, it's a great opportunity for you if you're in a busy city that's doing a lot of development. Everything requires, not everything, but most permits require a notarization. And in order to put in a new sidewalk, a pool, a screened-in porch, even some HVAC and electrical work will require that permits be run. The challenge is contractors are busy. They don't want to wait and do all that running around, going back and forth to the building and codes department. So they hire what they call permit runners. Typically, those permit runners are responsible for going to find a notary when they need one to get the permit notarized before it's turned in. And keep in mind, construction can't ensue until that permit has been processed. So instead of the contractor hiring a permit runner who is not a notary, what a notary has is a ability to market to that contractor and say, hey, contractor, hire me. I'm already a notary, and I can actually be there and do the notarization for the permit. And so you don't have to worry about your runner having to go find a notary to do that notarization. So now you've got the opportunity to deal with solar panel companies, HVACs, roofers, contractors, electricians, any tradesman that you can think of, anybody that's doing anything that needs a permit, you are now an asset to them. Because why? You're going to save them time and hopefully some money because they need to be doing what they need to be doing. And you can take on the task of running the permits. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, thanks.
Yes, and for those of you who didn't get the chance to take the Notary Permit Runner class live, the video is still in Notary Nerds University, and I want to talk to you guys about that before we close out. I have an offer for you guys. Monica, your model and your target audience.
Hybrid.
Okay.
And sign-in services, but would like to go direct, and general public and businesses. And also, and I don't know where this would fall in, but offering like free notarizations, like as community service to teachers, ministers, first responders, and active and retired military.
Love it. Love it. I think that's a great business model. It's going to bring you probably more business than you could ever imagine. Great idea. Tristan. Okay, Cynthia.
Loan signings, signing companies, and direct hybrid as well.
Awesome. Cynthia, you really are zoning in on, I mean, you've been in it, I'm proud of you. You are zoning very much in on your craft.
I am trying. I have so much on my plate, but I have to get this business launched. So
you are so consistent, and when I see your picture all the time, you are always plugged in. So keep up the good work.
yep, thank you for this platform.
Absolutely. I have 2 Patricia Williams. Why is that? I don't know. I think I already hit Patricia once. Is there 2 Patricias in here?
I'm the same one. I'm on my phone and computer.
Got you. Okay, and Dina, you're our last person before we close out. Business model.
My business model is hybrid, and I'd like to be able to target loan signing companies and also do general notary work via remote online.
Awesome. Very good, guys. That was just a quick exercise for you to start to think in terms of what you just said, because it's all going to matter next, because next is marketing. You have 2 weeks to get all of this stuff done on this checklist. You guys should have the checklist in the course. You can log in and download it, or it should be on that email that I sent to you. Remember to change that second Facebook to LinkedIn. You've got plenty of work to do, something to do every day to keep you busy. Utilize Fiverr and make yourself look great, because we're going to be looking at some of your social sites at our next meeting. Because the next time it's going to be about starting to launch your marketing campaign after we develop a marketing campaign. For those of you guys who are not yet members of Notary Nerds University, or even if you are members of Notary Nerds University, I just dropped into the chat the link to sign up as an affiliate. It is completely for free. And what that's going to allow you to do is to be able to offer people a 1-week trial for $1 to Notary Nerds University. If they buy on day 8, then you get a 20% commission. Not only do you get a 20% commission on that day, you get a 20% commission every single month that they are a member. And that is to everybody. You don't have to be a Notary Nerds University current member in order to become an affiliate. I'm doing this because I want you guys to be able to plug into everything that we got going on at Notary Nerds. It's going to help you make money. This permit runner stuff, the wills, the states and trusts. I've got a young lady coming on to teach the refinance packet next month. That's actually Katie. She teaches a car dealership navigator. She's going to teach a new class. She's over at Land Title right now, and she's got the refi packet down. I've got a gentleman who's gone from being a branch manager at a bank to doing $9,000 a month in signing service only. He's going to come on and teach seller packets. My job, since you guys are my target audience, is to find you content that's going to help you grow your business. So do you see how this whole target audience thing is working? You do what your customer wants. So those of you who name people in your target audience today, now you need to start thinking about how you can make their lives better. It's all about taking care of your target audience. So I don't want money to be in the way of that. So that's why I created this affiliate program. So you can make money with this affiliate program, or you can just cover your membership with the affiliate program, whichever is for you. But as an affiliate, you'll be given a link that's attached just to you, that when somebody buys, you get the money. It's just that simple. So if you're interested in that, grab the link out of the chat. It's at 9:30. And if there are any questions, this will be a time to ask them before we go.
Hey, Monica, do I need to do a whole new username and password for this affiliate?
No.
Or can I use the one from university?
You can use it's just going to ask you for your first and last name and your email address. So you can just provide, you can use any email address for it. But as far as the username, it's going to be probably auto created based on, I don't know how that works, but you should be fine, because all it asks you for to sign up is your name and your first name, last name, and your email address. It does ask you for a PayPal email, but you don't have to provide one if you don't have one.
Well, it's asking to create a password as well. That's why I was wondering.
Oh, so create a different, if you want to use the same password, you can.
Yeah,
Okay,
I just did it. You can use the same password. I just did it.
Okay, I didn't know. I was just making sure.
I'm glad somebody did, because I didn't know either. So thank you, whoever that was.
So you said the link's out here in the chat?
Yes, I'll put it it's at 9 o'clock. I'll put it right now again, so it's fresh. It might have got scrolled up, but I just put it at 9:34, Helen.
Okay.
And again, completely free, and it's not a hard sell. If you see other notaries, and this is not a link you go sharing around to people's groups and pissing people off. You know how people are about their groups, right? So when you see somebody that you might want to share it with them, and make sure it's appropriate place and time. If they click, they've got 30 days. It's going to be attached to you for that length of time. It's kind of a cookie thing. And if they make a purchase within 30 days, it's going to go back to you. So it's not high tech or anything like that. It's just a way that I said, okay, well, if somebody's looking at their budget and they're trying to figure out, hey, how do I do this Notary Nerds thing? I don't want you to have to cut it out the budget right away. I want you to be able to have a means by which to be able to make it pay for itself. So that's what the affiliate program is all about. It's brand new, and I haven't sent out the first email to the affiliate group yet. So once I get to where I'm going, I'm going to go ahead and I'm trying to wait till I get about 100 affiliates so I can send it all out. You guys, there are going to be some bonuses for the first wave. You know how I do with my day ones. If you do something first, and that first wave of people, you're going to get some special treatment. And the special treatment for this first group of affiliates is going to be some bonuses, and that's going to be cash. So that's all I have, you guys. I'm so glad y'all hung in with me. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. We have appreciated everything you've said and done for us.
Thank you. You are most welcome. You guys
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I had a quick question.
Michelle.
Yes. So the next class in 2 weeks, how will we get the invite to the Zoom meeting?
Oh, very good question, Michelle. Thank you. So
You're
most of you are already registered in Notary Business 101, right? On the when you logged in and got this link,
Right.
that's the same place where the new link will be for the next meeting. And I will I'll send out an email like I did this time that'll remind you about it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll also put the recording to this video in there, so if you want to go back and watch it, you'll be able to.
And save the chat.
Save the chat, everybody.
Save the chat. Thank you, Monica, for all that you do. You're truly a blessing.
Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night.